Cost of borrowing for a home declines again.
Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year mortgage fell this week to 6.63%. That's the lowest level since early April and just shy of its low for the year. Mortgage rates have fallen 3 weeks in a row. The latest pullback reflects a sharp drop in long-term bond yields, which lenders use as a benchmark for pricing home loans. Even so, mortgage rates remain relatively close to their highs this year of around 7%. That's helped keep the housing market in a deep sales slump. I'm Alex Vega.
President Trump is ordering an investigation into whether banks have discriminated against conservatives and industries like gun manufacturers and cryptocurrency companies. An executive order signed by Mr. Trump addresses the practice of debanking. That's where banks close accounts or refuse to do business with certain industries. More details, srnnews.com.
Commemorate the Beatles' 1966 concert in St. Louis with Paul McCartney. He's our A-list interview. I'm also going to play you a couple of alternate takes of Beatles classics. You'll also hear a semi-obscene rant from a conversation I had with Robin Williams on this, the 11th anniversary of his passing, plus great tunes from the 90s, 80s, and 70s you don't hear anywhere else.
It's JC's Wayback Machine every Saturday night, 6 to 9 on News Talk STL. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump is boosting the federal law enforcement presence in Washington, D.C., at least for the next week or so.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the city has been plagued by violent crime, and the increased federal presence will protect innocent citizens. The move follows the president's suggestion Monday that his administration could take over running the city.
Either they're going to straighten their act out in terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
Ben Thomas, Washington.
A woman and a suspect are dead. 2 Pennsylvania state troopers hospitalized in stable condition. They are expected to recover. This in Northeast PA.
Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner Colonel Chris Paris says a woman, Lori Wasco, was shot and killed by a neighbor outside her home in rural Thompson. The man then fired at 2 troopers who responded to her boyfriend's 911 call.
They were ambushed by several rounds of rifle fire.
The commissioner says they're thankful that troopers Joseph Parachinsky and William Jenkins were not killed.
Despite being very severely wounded, Trooper Parachinsky was able to tourniquet both arms of Trooper Jenkins with some further assistance, and their cars where they had arrived and gotten out of were also riddled with gunfire.
Audio courtesy WNEP. I'm Jennifer King.
Prime Minister Netanyahu says Israel has no interest in governing Gaza, but would like to transfer control of the region to Arab forces who will govern properly and not threaten Israel. Prime Minister spoke following the Israeli Security Cabinet's approval of a plan to have the military take charge of Gaza City. Deadline day for Russia. President Trump threatening Moscow with harsh new sanctions if it refuses to agree to a Ukraine ceasefire. The Dow futures up 105 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 74. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
I'm an artist and I'm in my studio. I listen to the radio all day and I'm hearing the ads about Relief Factor. And I've got pain in my neck and it's getting worse. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead and order this. 2 weeks later, I've got much better range of motion. If you're experiencing pain at a certain point in life.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
When I think of early August weather in the St. Louis area, this weekend's forecast is exactly what comes to mind. Hot and humid. Tons of sunshine today. South wind at 5 to 15. I'm going to put the high at 95 with a top heat index right around 100. Cleared tonight. Should have a good view of that full August moon. Still muggy, though. 77 for the low. Saturday, 96 with a heat index of 102. Sunday, we're at 93, but it'll feel like 98. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar selection while soaking in our friendly family atmosphere. Whether dine-in or carry-out, your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
The 5th Annual St. Charles Jewish Festival is Sunday, August 10th from 11 to 2:30 at the Lewis and Clark Boathouse parking lot. Join us for a vibrant celebration of Jewish life and culture. Experience world-class Jewish music, savor delicious kosher cuisine, and enjoy family entertainment. From a massive bubble party to cultural crafts, a petting zoo, and inflatables, there's something for everyone. For more info and to secure your free ticket, visit jewishstcharles.org/festival. Come celebrate, enjoy, and be inspired.
We talk about race relations.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
And I'm sick and tired of it.
101.9 and 94.1.
I find it to be a conversation starter.
News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson. Gabe Pfeiffer.
You are a whip scientist and you could be a whip villain.
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm? Get up, St. Louis.
Thundercats!
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! Get up! This is your cousin.
All right, it's not just Happy Friday, it is Happy Flashback Friday.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
There we go. All right. Sam Page doesn't just have to worry about, his whole criminal charges thing.
Oh really?
Yeah,
there's more?
There's more. He's now got something to worry about in the primary election.
Got him.
I'm doing the evil scientist fingers to play him. All right. Time is running out for tornado victims to apply for federal assistance. And the Cardinals gear up to host the Cubs this weekend.
Oh, boy.
A lot going on at Busch Stadium, and there's going to be probably hundreds of people there to watch it. All right. 6:06 right now. Let's dump some news on you.
Successful dump.
Wake up, America. It all worked out.
They got all the news.
The morning news dump.
I was going to go with dozens of people there, but I thought that might be stretching the joke a little more.
100 sounds about right.
That's it.
And it's still funny.
It is. Oh, man. All right. Sam Page has a challenger from within the Democrats. Yeah. State Senator Brian Williams announcing that he's running for St. Louis County Executive, setting up that primary race. Williams was elected to the Senate 2018, reelected in 2022. Obviously, he's going to be term limited out in 2026. Sam Page has been indicted on 4 criminal counts related to the use of taxpayer funds in a campaign. I know that you know that already. I just like saying it again and again and again.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just saying. The primary election is just a little over a year away. My news copy says monthly. Who wrote this?
I know a guy.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
All right. Republican Councilman Dennis Hancock has already announced his campaign for county executive. 6:20 here. I want to do a little deeper dive into this because I have a question for everybody that I think you're going to find an interesting question for St. Louis County.
Okay.
All right. That tragedy. We're following up on the tragedy this week. That shooting at the military base. Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll giving an update on that shooting that took place at Fort Stewart in Georgia on Wednesday. Secretary Driscoll praising the efforts of the soldiers who stopped the shooter, emphasizing that they probably saved many, many lives this week. He also says they're investigating to see how they can prevent similar things from happening in the future. Uh-oh. Let's try that again there. My thing was not apparently plugged in enough. Here's Secretary Dan Driscoll.
We absolutely will want to learn from this investigation. We do not want something like this to ever happen again on an Army base. And so if there are things we can do to improve safety, we will take those steps.
Okay, so the shooter obviously in custody. 5 soldiers at Fort Stewart were injured. They were taken to hospitals, treated. 2 of them had surgeries. They are all expected to recover.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 2 deaths are confirmed after a helicopter crashes into a barge near Alton. A JF Electric contractor for Ameren and then a subcontractor for that company were replacing some tower lighting when the helicopter hit some power lines.
Oh, man.
Pulling it off kilter, apparently, according to witnesses, and crashing. The National Transportation Safety Board is already on site. They are investigating. All the highways in the area have been reopened. They were closed for a little while, but just a horrible, horrible, tragic situation.
And this was a fatal crash.
2 deaths. 2 deaths. Yeah,
man.
2 deaths. Both people inside that helicopter.
Terribly tragic.
Yeah, and so there were some people who were fishing nearby and actually witnessed it. Channel 4 has a video that was sent by one of their viewers, a man who was there fishing, and so he was giving kind of a running commentary when it happened. If you're sensitive to language, then just be warned.
Right? Yeah.
The guy was freaking out, as you would,
yeah.
And so, but there's that running commentary on Channel 4's website. All right, let's see here. President Trump. This is interesting. President Trump wants to change how the Census Bureau collects data. Here's the story.
The president has instructed the Commerce Department to exclude immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Writing on social media, he said census data collections will be based on modern-day facts and figures and results of the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump signed a similar memo during his first term in office. That measure was later challenged legally, with courts ruling that only Congress holds authority to define who is counted. Greg Clugston, Washington.
So this is one of those things where it's just common sense. That what President Trump is saying is just common sense.
Right.
And so if Congress doesn't act on this, there's zero excuse whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, there's zero excuse for the Republicans to not use any sort of procedural nuclear option. I mean, any Democrat, even I would hope that even in Democratic areas where they would have a tough time explaining why they want illegal aliens counted in the census.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, the results are obvious. The results are actually a skewing of the American representative system.
Right.
So that's a lot to explain to the public, I think.
Exactly. Okay, so a man is now facing federal hate crime charges after that deadly attack during a diplomatic event outside of a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. earlier this year. This has been out of the news for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
That indictment includes 9 counts against Elias Rodriguez, including hate crime resulting in death. During a press conference on Thursday, U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, says she's committed to fighting hate crimes in D.C.
Don't even think about targeting people in this district because of who they are or because of where they're from. I promise you, justice will be swift and it will be certain.
The attack killed 2 Israeli embassy staff members. Investigators say the armed suspect traveled across state lines before opening fire in what they described as an anti-Semitic and politically motivated assault.
Yeah, I'm on the grand scheme, not really a fan of hate crimes and all that other stuff. Because the thing is, you're doing a crime anyway. You're going to be, so long as you're prosecuted for the crime that you actually do. I'm not particularly jazzed about what motivated you to do it.
We prosecute actions.
Right.
There's a danger in prosecuting thoughts.
Right. Opening that can of worms is not a good thing.
In this particular case right here, you've got everything you need to either put the guy away for life or put him away for a very, very short life, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Tornado victims have a little more time to apply for federal assistance in St. Louis. FEMA has extended the deadline for initial applications by 18 days. The city had asked for 60 days. FEMA basically met him in the middle, 18 days.
All right.
So the deadline is now August 26th. An estimated 700 households in the city that were hit by the tornado in May have not yet applied for recovery assistance. FEMA is accepting applications through their app or at disasterassistance.gov. At this point, if you haven't gone and asked for the help, it's kind of on you.
Yeah. What are you even doing?
And then I say that with, I'm so sorry about the tornado and natural disaster.
Definitely sympathetic for all the victims of this.
But they've gone canvassing all the neighborhoods saying, here's how to ask for up to $40,000 in federal assistance, in addition to whatever your insurance is and all that sort of thing. So if if you miss out, that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, now if you know somebody who experienced damage from the tornado or what have you, and just check with them, make sure that they've actually applied for it, that they know this is a thing. If they haven't, give them a little slap on the wrist,
right,
and
then tell them,
and then drive them to the library
right,
to let them go. I mean,
do the thing,
yeah,
guys.
exactly.
What's wrong with you?
All right, you can now reserve your 2026 Battlehawks season tickets.
Woo.
Yep. Okay, so the UFL is taking deposits for next season for Battlehawks fans. Season tickets also include a discount on team merchandise, priority seating, and some player meet and greets and some other events that are included in all of that. More information is at the Battlehawks page on the UFL's website. So these are the deposits, but it's also priority seating. Basically, you're getting in line so you can have your choice of which seats you want. Battlehawks coming back. They were the best team in the regular season in the UFL, but we haven't won the big one yet.
Yeah, it's so disappointing. These past couple of seasons, we've fallen just short, it seems, of bringing the big trophy home. So here's hoping for the new season. I got my merch. I'm ready to go.
That's right. And remember, the league literally tilted the entire schedule in favor of the Battlehawks.
They did.
Year. I mean, I'm not so much of a homer that I'm not going to admit that the league tried to tilt it in favor of the Battlehawks.
Right, and
I'm fine with that.
Deservedly so, because the Battlehawks are currently financing the entire league.
We are,
but we got to bring that championship home.
Yes. All right. Cardinals are back at home tonight, hosting the Chicago Cubs, who, by the way, have fallen out of first place.
Really?
Yeah. The Milwaukee Brewers have basically blown past everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They've been playing really well.
Game time is 7:15. This one's actually being carried by KMOV, so you can watch it over the air on Channel 4 tonight.
Inspiration, you have a soul so dark, it is no more. And all at once depart, no destination, making cold my heart to fight your war. Stop it right now.
Morning. Mike Ferguson, Gabe Pfeiffer. Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
You can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a two-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit ConnorRoofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote quality Christ-centered K-12 education nationwide.
Hi, this is Chris Stegall with the Herzog Foundation. We offer a wide variety of resources relevant to today's families, including a free online publication called The Lion. The lion is one of God's most majestic creatures, symbolizing strength and courage. Named for its attributes, the Lion publication carries articles covering a wide range of topics facing American families and culture, especially related to the education of children. The Lion can be found online at readlion.com. That's READ lion.com.
Sign up for The Lion at readlion.com and find dozens of must-read articles published every day. Visit readlion.com and subscribe for the weekly and daily digests so you never miss an article. Readlion.com. That's readlion.com.
You've worked hard for your money, so protect it. Meet my friend Bob Leslie and ask about the Gain and Retain Plan. Leslie Consulting, 40 years in the St. Louis area as a leader in brokerage and risk management. Call 314-721-0066, 721-0066. Oh, and ask Bob how he was the LA Dodger #1 pick. LeslieConsulting.com.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at Stifel.com. That's Stifel.com. The 80s.
Bueller.
The 80s.
Let's go while we're young.
Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the beat?
It's Flashback Friday.
Hey, this is Todd Showalter. Join me on Saturday at 5 as I try to put some fun back into this dysfunctional radio station. It's The Right Mind Show with me, Todd Showalter, at 5 on Saturday. And, speaking of dysfunctional, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Classic.
Oh, man. That little riff, the little synthesizer riff on this song.
And synthesizer
so
drums, synthesizer bass.
Mm-hmm.
There probably isn't a single live stringed instrument on this.
Probably not, no.
But you remember the video for this? This is a Take On Me from AHA.
Right.
And the video was like groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah, because it was a special kind of animation technique that was being used there. And it transitioned from live action to animated and things like that. There's certain techniques in there that were revolutionary at the time.
Drone, have you seen that video?
Yeah. It's, to this day, it's still mind-blowing to me that they were able to do that.
It holds up really, really well.
Sure does.
But things were more creative back then. I mean, let's be honest. Things were more creative.
You kind of had to be, I think. And I think that's one of the reasons why entertainment seems so creatively bankrupt right now. Everybody's just kind of recycling all the other things. Because back then, that's when all the new things were coming in. So you can't get much better than it right now, apparently.
Yeah, that's classic 80s. Good choice to start off Flashback Friday.
Nice.
Okay, so we know Republicans want to beat Sam Page on Election Day.
Of course.
Goes without saying.
Yeah.
That's what happens in elections. Even if he were a decent human being who's just wrong about the issues, they still want to beat him because Republicans want to beat Democrats and vice versa. But the Republicans may not get the chance to beat him this time around because he's now got a credible Democratic challenger in the primary.
Right. And in addition to the credible charges against him.
The very credible criminal charges against him. So here's the thing is, believe it or not, the primary elections, you may say, man, it's way too early to be talking about elections. Primary elections are just over 1 year away.
Yeah. And a year is pretty much the amount of time you get to run a campaign minimum.
Publicly.
Yeah.
A lot of these campaigns are planned a year or two before that.
Yes.
But I mean, and at the higher the level, the more farther in advance these things are planned. Okay. So here's what's going on. State Senator Brian Williams announcing that he's running for St. Louis County Executive. So this sets up a pretty high stakes Democratic primary.
Oh, yeah.
In St. Louis County. So Brian Williams, basically everything has coalesced perfectly for him. He's term limited out of the state Senate.
As state Senate.
He was elected easily in deep blue districts, in a deep blue district in 2018 and 2022. So he's in a really good position.
Yes, absolutely.
And also the thing that Brian Williams kind of has going for him is that his name is not Sam Page.
That's a major plus, I think, right now in politics.
Because here's the thing. I talk to a lot of people doing what I do for a living, and Democrats don't like Sam Page either.
Right. Yeah. And they didn't like him this last election in particular, which I found interesting, how much dislike there was for him on an election that he won.
Right. And if the Republicans had not been so incompetent, they might have actually had a chance for an upset win in the last county executive election, even in a blue county.
Right. Now, that was the one where there was a very, very weak candidate to start out.
Very weird. Remember, we had her on the show.
Oh, that's right. That was the crazy lady.
I think we were the only, and maybe she did other interviews, but I think we were the only media outlet that interviewed her.
Yeah, I feel like we were her first real interview because she was totally unprepared, and I think that's what shook her about the whole
she was
thing.
Nuts too.
Yes,
there was
absolutely.
That.
Yeah, she had no campaign, no organization, no vision for anything. She basically was a joke candidate.
Yes,
who got voted in as protest of the other candidate who was credible, but a little bit. I guess he was regarded as a little bit of a rhino.
Yeah. We're talking about Shamed Dogan, former state representative, who actually might have had a chance.
He could have stood a chance against Sam Page.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that all debacle happened.
Oh my gosh.
Then the Republicans couldn't find anybody after they ran her off the ballot.
Yeah. Well, rightfully so. She ran her off the ballot.
So they went and got a Democrat, Mark Mantovani.
Right.
To run, and so it was two Democrats running, but the Democrats don't want somebody with an R in front of their name, and so they held their nose and voted for Sam Page.
Yeah,
well,
such a weird election.
They don't have to hold their nose this time,
right? That's right, because I think Brian Williams has a very good reputation
within the Democratic circles.
within Democratic circles. So I think if you are not a Sam Page fan,
right,
he's an easy vote for you.
Okay, so a couple of things on this, and then I'm gonna throw out what I think's an interesting question. Everybody, I'd be curious to hear what everybody says about it, and then we're gonna come back to it later because I'm gonna give everybody a chance to kind of marinate on it just a little bit. Brian Williams is at least as far to the left as Sam Page,
absolutely,
without a doubt. I haven't seen much evidence that he's corrupt. I mean, he's got some skeletons like everybody else does, but
sure.
But
he's a politician.
He's a politician, but he's not Sam Page,
right?
So Dennis Hancock running on the Republican side. I don't know of any other Republicans who are thinking about I haven't even heard a rumor mill talking about it. Maybe there's somebody out there. I don't know. But right now, Dennis Hancock is the candidate who's declared on the Republican side.
Kind of the default Republican candidate.
Right. And Dennis has a very, very good resume, having been a mayor and now having been a county councilman. So, he's more than credible. I mean, it's going to come down to what kind of campaign is he going to run. He's actually formally kicking it off this month. And so that general election is going to be pretty spicy no matter what.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Sam Page may not be the Democratic nominee.
Right.
He wants his third term. He was appointed, then he was elected. And so he wants another re-election. He may be the most hated guy in the county. And yet Democrats continue to elect him, even though they don't like him because party loyalty.
So such a weird flex.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Both parties do it.
Yeah. On some level, yes.
Yeah.
I think Democrats more so than
Republicans. They circle the wagons better.
They do.
It's the joke that, I say it, but I'm sure somebody else came up with it first.
Yeah.
And it was, Democrats circle the wagons, the Republicans circle the firing squad. Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes.
Yep.
And so, the other aspect of this, before I get to my big question here, 314-912-1019, is Sam Page is not raising much money right now.
Okay,
he's not getting the same people to donate money to him as before,
and that's usually a big deal because right now is when you're supposed to be doing your big fundraising type of things with the big donors.
Yep.
Right. I think you can appeal to the smaller donors also, and kind of throughout the campaign. But this is when you kind of build the war chest necessary to actually run the campaign over the next year.
And he's spending a lot of money on things like criminal defense.
Yeah.
Because the county isn't going to let him use county attorneys as they should not.
Right.
And so Brian Williams is able to tap in and say, listen, we can hold on to the seat if we kick Sam Page to the curb. And the word on the street is that the donors are looking for somebody credible to basically starve Sam Page's campaign.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my question. St. Louis County residents.
That would include me.
Which is everybody in this room. Okay.
And you.
Do you consider taking a Democratic ballot in August just to try to help the Democratic insurgents get rid of Sam Page, knowing that you're likely putting somebody just as far left on the ballot who's even more electable?
Right. Yes. Here's the strategery discussions, right? Because look, the possibility of Sam Page again being the Democratic nominee means that maybe the Republican has a chance because Democrats hate Sam Page too. Right. That's one of those considerations.
Especially if he takes a plea deal or he's convicted.
Oh yeah. Gosh, absolutely. And then the other way of looking at it is maybe if our hopes are low of getting a Republican, and they are low,
it's a blue county.
It's essentially a blue. It's a light blue.
It's a light blue county, but it's a blue county.
But it's a blue county. If our prospects are low for getting a Republican candidate to win, maybe getting a non-Sam Page person on the other side of that ballot is the better way to go. Right. So even if they are more further left, but they're competent. These are those weird questions that I kind of hate because the strategy of political representation kind of comes into play in a lot bigger way than in other types of races.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Brian Williams, who, by the way, has been in the tiny minority in this legislature his entire career.
Yes.
So I think somebody who's been in that position is probably really really interested in being the executive when he has a majority.
Yeah.
So you
chomping
got
at the bit.
He's going to be I mean, I actually kind of understand that. All right, Jerome, do you take a Democratic ticket and vote for somebody who's going to be at least as far left as Sam Page, but at least it's not Sam Page?
I mean, strategically, there is something with sticking with the devil that you know instead of the devil you don't know.
Mhm.
But if I had the choice between being slapped or being punched, I would probably want to be slapped instead of being punched. And in this case, Sam Page is the punch. So, to be fair, I don't think we could do that much worse than Sam Page. I mean, we probably could, but just like people took a chance with
Democrats might take that as a challenge. So let's be careful. On
easy.
That. Yeah.
Okay, I got to choose my words a little more carefully then. But just like what we're seeing with Mayor Spencer right now, replacing Tashara Jones, that was a bit of a gamble. She's probably still as far left, but to her credit, she's already fixing a lot of the mistakes and getting rid of some of the trash. So
she is focusing on the actual local government stuff that needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, if we could get a Spencer here, if we get a Spencer like effect, I'd be happy with that.
Right. So if the Republicans have a primary, then it becomes more complicated.
Right, because now you have to pick between the two candidates that you kind of like.
Or do you go and just try to get rid of Sam Page?
Right, and you just kind of leave it up to a very tiny minority of Republicans who are going to take that
Yeah,
ballot.
as of right now, the Republicans seem to be, sort of coalescing around Dennis Hancock.
Yeah, here's hoping,
which I'm fine with.
That we do that, and I think provide ourselves that option.
I mean, I'm open to if there's somebody else who wants to get in the race and run, we'll have them on the show, just like
sure.
Dennis is on the show from time to time.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get a fair shake if you do, but
yeah,
I would actually prefer to have that choice of taking the Democratic ballot or
right.
Just,
because even though we're supposed to register with a party, you can change party registration in order to take that ballot.
Just like that.
Yeah, so it's really easy to do. And I've seen it done and it can work.
Mm-hmm.
It really can. But then again, you can't vote for any other Republicans in that primary.
Right.
So that's just something to keep in mind, but I'll plant the seed just to get everybody's little, brain juices going there.
Now, don't forget about the Newstalk STL app. If you have a phone, you have a radio. So go on your App Store or Google Play Store. I think that's what they call it for the Android. And grab the app, update it if you have the old one, and you can play with all kinds of really cool features on there.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
What was once considered radical is now mainstream.
On Newstalk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
When I think of early August weather in the St. Louis area, this weekend's forecast is exactly what comes to mind. Hot and humid. Tons of sunshine today. South wind at 5 to 15. I'm going to put the high at 95 with the top heat index right around 100. Cleared tonight. Should have a good view of that full August moon. Still muggy, though. 77 for the low. Saturday, 96 with a heat index of 102. Sunday, we're at 93, but it'll feel like 98. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Shane.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
Join Aaron Tarlow every Sunday night at 9 on Newstalk STL for Shall Not Be Infringed, your voice for Second Amendment rights and firearms education. Brought to you by DG Firearms, Kevin's Guns, Osage County Guns, and Full Circle Reloading and Firearms.
Looking for insurance you can truly trust?
Since 1986, Bauer Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses across Missouri and Illinois. Owner Cindy Blanton doesn't just offer one quote. She shops all the top carriers like Progressive, Travelers, Safeco, and more to find you the best rates. Whether it's your home, auto, toys, or business, we've got you covered. Visit us at Mid-Rivers Mall in St. Peters or call 636-812-2001. Bauer Insurance Agency, the company that protects. The name you can trust.
Hey, Columbo here for Rockwood Charcoal. Rockwood is made from 100% pure Missouri oak and hickory, so you're cooking with the best and supporting local industry and a local business all at once. There's over 100 area Rockwood retailers. Find yours at rockwoodcharcoal.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Just in time for my return trip to Israel, I'll talk to my Israeli tour guide and IDF soldier, Barak Berkovich.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
Hey, this is Vince Colonnese. I'll talk to you tonight at 8. But now back to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show on News Talk STL.
Yeah, I'm not a big Slade fan, but I love the song.
Yeah, this is really, really catchy. It did not sound like it came from the 80s to me when I
I
first
know
heard
it. Well,
I mean,
Slade,
the drum intro, but
yeah, Slade was, they were kind of a thing in the late 70s. There's a lot of 80s band that patterned themselves after Slade. Slade was a very influential in the glam hair, cheesy rock thing. And it's funny because like they're all like, oh yeah, all the hair bands are like, yeah, I don't really like Slade. Well, you did a cover of their song. Well, I know, but it was good, So, but yeah, if I were a musician in like a cover band, I would demand the band play this because you would probably get everybody up on the dance floor with this song.
Is that what this is called? Cheesy rock?
Yeah. You know what it was actually called on the Sunset Strip before they settled on like glam rock or hair metal?
What was that?
Teeth rock.
Teeth rock?
Because they were all smiling, whereas rock was angry before that.
Mean mugging.
That was one of the things that they would call it is that because you're always smiling.
Right.
That's what it was. But no, little Slade there. Was what, 81, 82, something like that?
Yeah, this was like right at the cutoff of the early 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. Like
84.
80. Oh, I didn't think it was that late. Okay. All right. 6:35 right now. This is a news flash for a lot of people. Some people are just dumb.
Yes, clearly.
Some people are just dumb.
Like badly so.
Yeah. Did you hear about what happened in Forest Park the other day?
No.
Okay. So a guy got attacked by 3 dogs. He's just walking on the trails. He's minding his own business. And he gets attacked by 3 dogs. And he tells police, he said, I'm walking by and I see this guy's got these 3 dogs off leash and he's just playing with his dogs off leash. And then the dogs, for whatever reason, saw this victim and just charged him.
Really?
And he got bit a bunch of times.
Oh
on
my
his
gosh!
arm and
so it's not like the friendly attack. Like
no,
we've seen online, and there's a video of a bunch of golden retrievers coming out and just licking you to death. Right? It wasn't that.
No. He was injured.
He was injured. He was bit.
He was bitten on multiple parts of his body.
Oh my gosh.
And then the dog owner managed to get them off, and then he rushed them back to the car and then took off.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So police, they haven't listed a description of the guy in this Forest Park. I don't know if there's any pictures of it or anything. But Mitch McCoy, a spokesman for the St. Louis City Police Department, he's quoted by saying the victim reported seeing that the owner of the dogs was in the grass playing with the 3 dogs off leash. When the dog saw the victim and ran toward him, the owner of the dogs did intervene and was able to get the dogs into his own vehicle. He backed his vehicle out and took off. So this guy wasn't injured seriously. He took himself to the, I guess, hospital or urgent care, wherever he went. And I don't know what kind of dogs they were.
I think
I have no idea,
we're lucky that it wasn't worse.
Very, very, very lucky.
Dogs can do some damage.
Oh, even if it's like a more pedestrian breed.
Oh yeah. Even the little ones.
Yeah. That they can really do some damage, but 3 of them, and so now obviously police are looking for this guy and the guy like, oh crap, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And he takes off instead of worrying about the guy his dog's just injured. He hightails it out of there to CYA.
It's terrible.
And so 99.99%, I think, of dog owners who take their dogs out in public do it the right way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, I was at Creve Coeur Park last week. Lots of people had their dogs. All of them were on leash. A couple of the dogs, as we were walking by, like comes over towards me and tries to sniff and wants pets from everybody. And both times, you know, people like, I'm so sorry, and they're pulling the dog back. I'm like, hey, your dog's friendly. I don't care about that. But in this case here, first of all, what are you thinking taking your dogs off leash in Forest Park,
right?
In any public area? That's just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've seen some like dog trainers, professional dog trainers. They do this off leash thing, especially for the cameras. If they're promoting their you know, what they do. You know, they'll go into a store and they'll tell their dog to sit, and it waits for them outside the store while they go in and they come out. And, oh, that's really cool. Most people, 99.999% of people, do not have dogs that are that well behaved. You know, if you are going off leash, you better be that guy with like a license. You got a business that runs the thing, and your dog basically better have a license of its own that he can pull out and describe to you his training. You know, that's what the dog needs to be on point. Certainly not, though, 3 dogs off leash. That is ridiculous. I don't even care.
It's beyond stupid.
If all 3 of them are very well trained to be off leash. Having 3 dogs means that if something were to happen, if one of them were to get distracted, or 2 of them were to get distracted.
Well, that's probably what happened. Is one of them
you're done.
That guy looks delicious,
right?
And the other 2 follow the alpha,
and that's usually how that goes, right? Because they are pack animals, right? So that means there's always going to be a dog that you are incapable of controlling, right? So that's the thing. If there's one dog off leash and you're really confident, maybe you can get away with having them off leash in public, so long as you're ready to control them. But certainly 2-3 dogs off leash, that's ridiculous.
What goes through people's brains?
Yeah.
To say, you know what, my dogs are fine. And aren't there signs up everywhere in Forest Park? I don't know
keep your dogs on a leash.
I don't know which part of Forest Park this was. The story didn't say what area it was, but there's a lot of green space. I mean, this is the biggest city public park in the country.
Right.
It's actually slightly bigger than Central Park in New York City by just a few feet, but it technically is.
A little bit.
And so you've got a lot of green space. And I'm not even just talking about the golf course. You're talking about a lot of green space there. And it's just beyond stupid. And I see it occasionally. Somebody will have their dog out, and I've seen a couple instances over my life, but very, very few. But what's like some of the worst stuff you've seen with just stupid pet owners?
Yeah. I saw this one of this. Now it was this lady, and she had 2 little dogs off leash. And there was a guy who was walking his big Doberman on leash. Right. And these 2 little dogs come rushing up to the Doberman.
What do they think's going to happen?
And of course, the lady's freaking out. Now she's basically being the worst. On top of not having her dogs on leash, she's being the worst owner possible, and she's freaking out even before the dogs kind of can engage. The Doberman's backing up. He's like, I don't know what's going on here. And of course, the lady's just freaking out, and the Doberman reacts. He doesn't bite it. He kind of nips at one of them, and then she's freaking out even some more. And it's really stupid. She put herself and her dogs in danger by not practicing good leading,
good ownership of the dog.
Yes.
You know, I think the dumbest things I've seen actually I have not seen that in person other than like on videos, on social media, stuff like that. But what I see are people who are like, well, my dogs are the exception to the rule.
Oh gosh.
When I was working at the Show Me Institute years ago, some of us just went out to eat at the Central West End, and we went into, it was an Asian food restaurant. I want to say it was like a Thai or Vietnamese restaurant or one of those. And a woman had her dog in there, had the vest on it that said emotional support animal.
Oh yes.
Those are not service dogs.
No.
And why the restaurant let her in there with it? It was on a leash, but it was trying to get to everybody. It was trying to get to my food. It was, up and, have its paws up, like begging for food. Then at one point it got its paws like on the table to lean. It wasn't tall enough.
Table.
Yeah, it wasn't tall enough to get his head over it, but he could reach up and get it. And he got his nose up there trying to get to the food. And I'm like, you're in a restaurant.
That's crazy.
With a dog basically putting his little snout all over the table, you idiot. And she's ignoring it. And she's just talking to her friends. And we're all going, there's a thick furred dog, a little guy, but a little one just in the restaurant. it's if it's a service dog, it's a service dog. But those things have to be certified. They're highly trained.
Right. Yes.
This is that garbage where you get the vest off Amazon that says emotional support dog.
Yeah. Yeah. You can have anything printed on one of those.
Right.
vests.
And you can and they're like, well, that's my service. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Just because you bought a vest on Amazon doesn't mean squat. It's just your pet that you have a detachment disorder from. That doesn't make it a medical dog. And so those are what I usually see when I see stupid stuff with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So Vicky says that more people than you would think let their dogs off leash, and that they have the problem because her husband keeps their dogs on their leash, but these unleashed dogs will run up and attack. And I've noticed that as well. There are a lot of people out there. I guess you could prescribe it to ignorance, but it's also laziness where they just keep their dog inside all day. They don't train them at all. They don't really engage with them. So
they don't socialize them.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, this dog is so well behaved at home because it's apathetic, because it's deprived of, and then it gets so excited to be at the house, it doesn't know what to do with itself.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Running amok.
Got all that energy built up.
Yeah. Now I have seen also regarding those custom printed vests. I did see one. It said, if you see me without my owner, I got lost prowling for bees, basically.
he's running around for the chicks.
But yeah,
funny.
I mean,
that's why you're supposed to spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah. But I mean, it is definitely absolutely stupid not to spend time training and building that bond with your pet, especially if you have 3 dogs.
Yeah, but going to a place like Forest Park. What could possibly go wrong with leaving my dogs? And that's probably exactly what you were talking about. They're fine in the backyard.
Yeah,
They're fine in the basement.
So docile.
Yeah, they're fun, and everybody's gonna love them.
Yeah, they're so sweet. Even when friends come over, they're really
Yeah.
sweet with them. No, but they're outside now.
Yeah,
and there are so many new smells, and there's so many exciting things. And I don't even know what to do with all the energy that I have, because I've never been allowed to run outside, for the last, year and a half. Now that I'm in the park, oh my gosh, everything is great. I want to do, I want to bite everything. Yes, that's how dogs are.
Now I will say I did have a really, the parts about different dogs, strange dogs that I liked, as some friends of mine after one of my games last weekend, we just went to a sports bar and grill type place. We're walking out. We ate inside, but there was an outside patio area. And there was a guy sitting there, and he sees us in baseball uniforms, and he's like, "Hey, tell me what's going on here." I used to play, and we love it. But he had 2 huskies, unbelievably well behaved, both of them on leash. He was doing everything right, and all those dogs wanted to do was be petted and scratched behind the ears.
Oh yes.
So I stayed there much longer than I should have, just because huskies are beautiful dogs.
Oh, I love them so much. I do. Yep.
All right.
We had a husky shepherd mix.
Oh, nice.
Yes, his name was Brutus. Brutus Maximus Aurelius, by the way. That was his
very
full,
nice.
That was his full name.
Very, very nice.
But he was awesome. But he was an excitable little guy.
Yeah.
And now he was a pretty well behaved on walks and things like that, but he was so excitable about everything.
Oh my goodness.
So,
by the way, please still looking for that suspect, by the way.
Now, hopefully we shouldn't risk any dog attacks here, but we do have Steve Forbes' event coming up Thursday, September 18th at Lindenwood University. Scheidegger Center?
Scheidegger Center,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, I got it. I got that one right this time. For the performing arts, tickets are required, but they are free. So the link to reserve yours is at newstalkstl.com. This event is brought to you by our community, by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise.
This app is absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I listen on my phone.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
It is awesome.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
SR1 Sundays.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Kaiser. Be sure and check out my show, Straight Lines, this and every Sunday at 8 p.m., right after Stand and Fight, part of SR1 Sundays. Let's meet right here and let's peel back some layers of this crazy world, and you might be surprised at what we find. Straight Lines with Elizabeth Kaiser on SR1 Sundays at 8 p.m., right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
Straight Lines with Elizabeth Kaiser on News Talk STL.
Would you like to win a full season of mosquito and tick protection? Tim Jones here, the new Mosquito Nix team in St. Louis, celebrating their launch with a bite-free backyard sweepstakes. One lucky family will get their entire yard protected. 10 others will get a free fogging treatment just for entering. Call 636-698-1980 now to enter. 636-698-1980. Keep your yard safe and your summer itch-free. Service area restrictions do apply. Mosquito Nix offers permanent, automatic mosquito and tick protection. It's not just fogging, it's real coverage you don't have to think about. They've already helped over 40,000 families nationwide take back their yards with their automatic mosquito control system. Visit mosquitonix.com to learn more. That's mosquitonix.com, 636-698-1980 to enter the backyard sweepstakes. Keep your yard safe, your summer bite free, 636-698-1980.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Crying parents tell their children, if you survive, don't do as we did. The son exclaims there'll be nothing to do to. Her daughter says she'll be dead with you.
Love the music you hear on the morning show? Check out Mike's morning music playlist at NewsTalkSTL.com.
All right, Sam Page has to worry about more than just an indictment. He's got to worry about getting through the primary this time.
Many challenges.
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly. Time is running out for tornado victims if you want to apply for federal assistance. I don't know why there are still hundreds of households that have not applied.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
If you got it covered yourself, then that's the best case scenario. So I got some thoughts on that. And the Cardinals back at home for a series tonight at Busch Stadium. I'll tell you about that and how you can watch it for free. That's coming up here. It is 6:48. Let's dump some news on you.
The morning news dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks, the morning news dump.
Sam Page has a challenger from within. Yep. Democratic State Senator Brian Williams announced that he's running for St. Louis County Executive, setting up that primary race. Williams was elected to the state Senate in 2018 and reelected in 2022. Sam Page has been indicted on 4 criminal counts related to his use of taxpayer funds in a campaign. The primary election just over a year away. I mean, it's a year. That's a long time,
right?
But it's only a year.
Yeah, well, a year is how long you have to run an active public campaign, right? So once you come within that year, it's campaign season.
Yep, we're going to start hearing from a lot of candidates for about everything here at the radio station because we're about a year out from those primaries. Republican Councilman Dennis Hancock has already announced his campaign for county executive. As far as I know, he's the only Republican who has declared for that race. All right, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll providing an update on the shooting that took place at Fort Stewart in Georgia on Wednesday. Secretary Driscoll obviously praising the efforts of the soldiers who stopped the shooter, saying they really probably saved a lot of lives on Wednesday. He also says they are going to be investigating to see if there's anything they can change to stop this kind of thing from happening in the future.
We absolutely will want to learn from this investigation. We do not want something like this to ever happen again on an Army base. And so if there are things we can do to improve safety, we will take those steps.
5 soldiers at Fort Stewart were injured in the shooting. They are all expected to recover. And by the way, if you noticed the last 36 hours, this story has basically dropped off the headlines.
Oh, yeah. It came and went, faster than almost I could perceive it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I think that kind of might have got buried here, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a gun-free zone inside the base where this took place.
Right. And it was his personal firearm.
It was his personal firearm.
It was not an Army-issued one.
Right. Yeah, so maybe that's one thing they can change, because most people think you can't do stuff like that on an Army base. Everybody's armed.
This is literally the fighting force.
It's really the fighting force. Isn't everybody just walking around with a firearm in there? No. They have gun-free zones too, which could be a problem.
Yeah, and we don't know what the motivation is.
Yeah.
For this, obviously there's gonna be a lot of speculation, but I just want to point out that we've gotten a lot of silence over the last 36 hours on this.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something to read into or not.
Well, the last time we had some base action where somebody was getting hurt, the Islam was involved.
Right.
Just gonna leave
now
it there.
we have not heard any reason to think that.
No, not at all.
We've also, it could be anything. Let's just
could
put
be
it that
anything.
way.
It could be personal beef for all we know.
Absolutely. Could be anything.
Drug deal gone bad.
Right. You don't know.
Cheating spouse. There's all the things.
Yeah.
They're on the table.
So we'll look at, we'll see if this story, sort of resurfaces as charges are filed or what happens on this. All right. 2 deaths are confirmed after a helicopter crashes into a barge near Alton. A JF Electric contractor for Ameren and then a subcontractor for that company were replacing some tower lighting when the helicopter apparently hit some power lines, causing the accident, pulling the helicopter down to the side and crashed right into the barge. There were witnesses. There were some people fishing along the banks there when that happened. And there was one guy who sent his video to KMOV. And if you go to their website, they've got that video up there. There's some of it I could play, but he was pretty obviously freaked out, which I completely understand.
Yeah. Hard to edit those for radio.
Yeah. It would have been a lot of beeps. So just if you're sensitive to language, just understand this guy was freaking out quite a bit. And I'm not justifiably so. He just watched 2 people die.
Right.
So if you want to see, basically what you've got is a whole bunch of smoke on the barge is all that it is. All right. President Trump wants to change how the Census Bureau collects information.
The president has instructed the Commerce Department to exclude immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Writing on social media, he said census data collections will be based on modern-day facts and figures and results of the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump signed a similar memo during his first term in office. That measure was later challenged legally, with courts ruling that only Congress holds authority to define who is counted. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Okay, so a couple of things here. As far as how the census should be counting people, the president's right.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's just common sense. And I would open up the door for my Democratic friends to call me at 314-912-1019 and make the case for illegal aliens being counted in the census. I mean, if you think there's a justification for that, go ahead. But I remember when he tried this in his first term.
Right.
And the court struck it down. And it wasn't that they said it was a bad idea or that he was even wrong about it, but they said that the Constitution lays out that Congress sets the rules, not the president.
It was an authority question.
So why hasn't Congress fixed it?
Yeah, it's a really good question, especially because we've got the Congress right now.
Yeah.
Now I will say this too, though, that because President Trump is on this push now to basically reshape the House, the way the House works. By influencing the states to redistrict and all these other things, maybe actually getting the Congress to fix the census data is going to have just as much of a presidential push to actually get it done, and maybe that will spur them on to do it.
Yeah, this is one of those things that is not in media terms, sexiest of the issues, but this is a legacy builder. If he could get this change pushed through,
this would be a huge change.
Yeah, because Ellison says that, why would anybody want illegals counted to begin with? And I think that's ridiculous. That was ever a thing. But should the census be further updated to only count voters, like people that actually voted in the election? So not the entire estimation of the population, but just people that are participating in society. Would that be?
Well, the Constitution says that it is counting the residents.
Well, it's counting citizens.
Yeah. And so to answer Allison's question, why would anybody want that? Here's the answer. The states like California, the blue states, want illegal aliens counted because the more people who are counted, the 435 House members are allocated to the states based on population.
Right.
So
per the census.
Yeah, per the census. So the more people you can claim counted, the more representation you get in Congress. And the blue states are all about that. That's the short answer.
I will say that their argument for this hasn't changed since the 3/5 compromise.
That's true.
It was exactly the same thing. They had an underclass who, oddly enough, worked in agriculture primarily, and that they could control.
That's a nice way of saying it.
and whom they could leverage for political power. Now, tell me how the Democrat Party switched with the Republicans if they're doing exactly the same bullcrap with exactly the same type of ideology behind it.
Oh, man. All right. Tornado victims are going to have a little more time to apply for federal assistance in St. Louis. FEMA extending the deadline for the initial applications, extending that by 18 days. Remember, the mayor was asking for 60 days, but FEMA basically met him in the middle. The deadline is now August 26th. An estimated 700 households in the city alone that were hit by the tornado in May have not applied for recovery assistance. By the way, you don't have to. It's just there. FEMA is accepting applications through their app and at disasterassistance.gov. At this point, I mean, this hit in mid-May. I mean, we're coming up on August. I mean, if you don't get that in, it's kind of on you.
Yeah, seriously.
And I don't want to sound cold-hearted to victims of the natural disaster. I mean, it's a tornado. It's not like you did anything wrong, but they canvassed. They went door to door. They went looking for people to say, please apply. So if you haven't done that at this point, that's on you.
Yeah,
they shouldn't keep extending it. All right. The Cardinals are back at home tonight hosting the Chicago Cubs. Normally, this is a weekend of sellout games. Probably won't be this time around. Game time is 7:15. This one is being carried over the air by KMOV, so you can watch it on Channel 4. And so if you're like many St. Louisans who have not been going to the games, you can at least just watch it in your living room if you want. And I'm glad to see more over-the-air games. So good on KMOV. Basically, they're taking FanDuel's broadcast and they're just putting it on KMOV.
Mm-hmm.
And FanDuel does a good job with it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Susie Moore. If new flooring makes you think hassle, think again, because Michael's Flooring is changing the game. For over 30 years, Michael's has been locally owned and trusted for quality, variety, and amazing service. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl, or ceramic tile, their expert team makes installing new floors exciting, not stressful. That's why customers keep coming back. Visit Michael's Flooring at St. Peter's, Starting Prairie, Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hey, it's Chris Cooper here, Serenity Wealth Management, joining us this Sunday on News Talk STL. For Serenity Wealth Now Radio, we've got special guest Mike McKenna joining us in the studio. He is the proud owner of the Macadoodles franchise in Garden Prairie. So tune in, check us out Sunday morning, 9 a.m., News Talk STL, or on Serenity Wealth Now socials.
Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper, Sunday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
Hey, it's Tim Jones. Chris and I are hitting the road. We're off to Israel next week. Believe it or not, we convinced Chris to go back.
This time, News Talk STL is teaming up with our friends at Newsmax for a full week in Israel. Tim and I will be checking in on all our local shows next week, in addition to doing our show direct from Israel a few times. And I'm hoping this visit includes fewer missiles and more meals.
What is really going on in Israel? We'll tell you firsthand all next week.
News Talk STL and Newsmax teaming up again for Mission Israel exclusively on News Talk STL.
When it's important to you,
This is what leadership looks like.
it's on News Talk STL.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
News, analysis, opinion.
We're sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed.
You will start seeing historic growth like we've never seen before.
Will it affect the elections? Well, that's what America's all about.
It's going to make this country into a rocket ship.
Number one for live and local conservative talk.
My talk station.
News Talk STL. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. German Chancellor Merz says Germany will not approve exports of military gear that could be used in Gaza until further notice. The decision comes after the Israeli Security Cabinet announced plans to have Israel's military go into Gaza City.
It seems that this is the first phase of a plan that would see the military taking full control of Gaza. Now, we know the head of the army has been against this idea of fully occupying Gaza, if you like. And there have been reports now suggesting that there were heated confrontations between the prime minister and the head of the military, who has warned that the full takeover of Gaza could be a trap for Israel. He has also raised concerns about the fate of the hostages.
The BBC's Hugo Beshega in Jerusalem. Prime Minister Netanyahu says the goal is a Gaza that's free from Hamas control. The final part of our special series on dangers posed to children nationwide by pending legislation in the California State Assembly. Constitutional lawyer Nicole Pearson says if AB 495 passes later this month, any child in California, even one visiting on vacation, could be endangered. That's because anyone could simply download an online form and declare themselves your child's legal guardian.
California is a sanctuary state, so if a child is brought to this state, then California, Gavin Newsom and his cronies have already declared war on parents and parental rights. So even if you live in Texas, even if you live in Tennessee, the courts, law enforcement are not going to cooperate with the lawful orders and laws and rules of your conservative state.
A rally is slated to oppose AB 495 at the California State Capitol in Sacramento on August 19th. Wall Street, the Dow futures up 129, NASDAQ futures ahead 80 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
I'm excited to share something that's especially close to my heart, the people of Israel. The Bible teaches us that in a world of broken promises, one covenant remains unshakable, God's eternal promise, his unwavering commitment to Israel, his beloved people. And now more than ever, God is calling Christians everywhere to support Israel, to be a living testimony that his promises endure forever. I've chosen to partner with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews as one way to align myself with God's eternal plan. For over 40 years, this wonderful ministry has faithfully provided nutritious food, care, and life-saving aid to Israel's most vulnerable, the poor and the elderly, many of whom are Holocaust survivors. And when crises strike, like rocket attacks or urgent humanitarian needs, IFCJ is already on the ground responding with compassion and support. Join me in standing for Israel and declaring God's faithfulness to all generations. To learn more and to find out how you can help, visit ifcj.org. That is ifcj.org, ifcj.org.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
When I think of early August weather in the St. Louis area, this weekend's forecast is exactly what comes to mind. Hot and humid. Tons of sunshine today. South wind at 5 to 15. I'm going to put the high at 95 with a top heat index right around 100. Cleared tonight. Should have a good view of that full August moon. Still muggy, though. 77 for the low. Saturday, 96 with a heat index of 102. Sunday, we're at 93, but it'll feel like 98. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area. And I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way. And right now, it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois. So no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners' experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
Mike Ferguson.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
It's the sugar honey iced tea, baby.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice. Drain the swamp and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up, this is your cousin Bob.
All right, fixing one of the key governments in the area to fixing one of the biggest school districts. You know, guys, there's just basically no end to the stuff the left breaks around here.
Yes, absolutely.
How do we start fixing stuff? All right, 7:05, almost 7:06 right now. Don't forget 314-912-1019 and that News Talk STL app. You definitely want to make sure you're up to date on that. It is free to download that and listen on the app. We're now joined by former Missouri State Senator, current candidate for St. Charles County Executive Bill Eigel, because I texted Bill, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's just review the week in the news. And Bill, we got no shortage of stuff to talk about here, so appreciate you being on, man.
Of
course. Thanks for having me.
Okay,
Happy
so
Friday.
yes, and happy Friday to you as well. And when we're talking about, obviously, you being a big part of the Freedom Caucus here as well. I want to get into the fact that the Freedom Caucus is being really, really busy right now. And in addition to some of the stuff that the Freedom Caucus is calling for and getting done, just so you know, I'm going to ask you in a couple minutes about the fact that so much of Missouri media and establishment politicians still say, these guys are, just gadflies. They don't actually get anything done, but it seems like they're driving a lot of what's happening in the legislature. So I'll get to that in a minute, but you're running for county executive in St. Charles County, where things, obviously, there's a lot of, debate over different policy issues and planning and all kinds of stuff that's going on. But to the south, St. Louis County, Sam Page now has a credible challenger. You have served with Brian Williams. Tell me about Brian Williams. Who are the Democrats going to be choosing between? What does he offer that's different than Sam Page?
Well, I that's a great question. I'm not usually looking at the Democratic primary because I think there is a great Republican individual, Dennis Hancock, that's going to be running over on the Republican side. But I will say this about Brian Williams, and I did serve with Brian Williams, and I can tell you, after working with Brian, he is a big upgrade from Sam Page. And I think that the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party nationally is suffering from just an awful destruction of their brand. They can't get anybody that has even basic common sense. They can't get anybody that has even basic ability to manage virtually anything in or out of government. So I think if you're a Democrat in St. Louis County, you're probably pretty happy about the idea that Brian Williams is going to compete for this seat versus to Sam Page, who's now been indicted on felony counts and has been just a train wreck for that county for a long, long time. So I do have a good relationship with Brian Williams, and if he's the guy that's successful in that election, that would be somebody that I think would be much better to work with than a Sam Page. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. The reality is, like I said, we do have a good candidate that I'm excited about. Dennis is got a great resume, and I think he's going to give, whether it's Brian or it's Sam Page, he's going to give them a real run for their money.
Yeah, because Brian Williams isn't any less far to the left than Sam Page, but at least he's not the train wreck that Sam Page is.
Yeah. That Brian is, he's kind of built a reputation from him in the Democratic caucus in Jefferson City of someone that can be worked with, someone that can be approached. So I still disagree with him on virtually every policy position that he's taken. But in the context of when the bar is so low that you're comparing yourself to Sam Page, I think Brian Williams makes a lot of sense from the Democratic side of things.
Good morning, Bill. Gabe here. So bouncing over to federal politics, the president wants a new census. Now, he tried this his last term. The courts kind of said, hey, by the way, this is for Congress to do. Do you think there's enough impetus for Congress to actually get this done to keep illegals off of our census rolls?
Yeah, this is another one of those issues that it's just amazing to me that we actually have to have this conversation as part of our national discussion. But the fact is that the border policy that was put in place by Joe Biden, by Barack Obama, the Democrats, for a majority of the past decade have created a scenario in the United States to where the number of people who are here illegally have made a pretty dramatic shift in the makeup of the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. In fact, I was reading last night that because of the presence of illegal immigrants and the fact that they were counted in the last census, 13 seats and 13 electoral net votes were transferred to blue states because of the presence of people who shouldn't be here in the first place. Now, the founding fathers who set aside doing the census once every 10 years never, ever could have imagined that here we would be in the early 21st century, having a border policy that would reward individuals who weren't supposed to be here in the first place. They never could have imagined that. So what Donald Trump is trying to do is trying to, in a very straightforward manner, address a problem that is crippling really America and losing and diluting the voice of actual American citizens in the process of their government. So certainly I think that the president has shown he can be very successful when he works with the House of Representatives up in Washington, D.C. I think he's going to have a lot to say and a lot of input into the Senate. I hope he gets it done because I don't know about anybody else, but I'd sure like to see the House of Representatives chosen based on the distribution of actual American citizens across these United States.
Right now, does the Republican majority in the House and the Senate and Congress have the backbone to actually do something that's this obvious even?
I think in the House of Representatives, yes. And I think you saw that with the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. That was a pretty significant lift. So I think we saw that the House of Representatives is willing and has a tendency to work together. I'm not as convinced on the U.S. Senate right now because we're just barely over 50 and we always start with one or two defectors. So in fact, the One Big Beautiful Bill had to have a tiebreaker from the vice president. So I think that's the bigger question, whether or not he can get that through the Senate. But every time I think that Donald Trump can't do something, he proves me wrong. I mean, look at the story that came out of St. Louis City just in the past few days. Kara Spencer has come out and said that she's going to stop awarding city contracts because of the pressure that she's getting from the Trump administration to award those contracts on the basis of race and gender. So if Donald Trump can get some of the leftists in St. Louis City to act like reasonable people, gosh, what can he do up in Washington, D.C.? So you know what? I'm going to remain optimistic. All right,
we're visiting with former state senator Bill Eigel, obviously running for county executive in St. Charles County right now. Last few minutes that we've got, Bill, you were one of the founders of the Freedom Caucus in Missouri. Small in number, but seems to be oversized in the influence based on those numbers. They're calling for a special session, obviously to deal with initiative petition reform, to deal with the congressional redistricting situation. We haven't heard from the governor yet officially as to what he's going to do on this, but what do you make of the call for this? And is this the right move to deal with these particular things before the next legislative session?
Yeah. So first of all, to your first comment, your first point about the Freedom Caucus, it is interesting that the makeup of the Freedom Caucus does appear to be a lot different than it was a year ago. But, one of the biggest legislative wins that we had last session was HJR 73. And guess who the sponsor of HJR 73, protecting life and putting it back on the ballot was? It's Adam Schnelting, member of the Freedom Caucus. So, and we saw that in previous years. The biggest legislation that would make it through the assembly was typically carried by members of the Freedom Caucus. Andrew Koenig was very well known for carrying big pieces of legislation. So the reason that the Freedom Caucus, regardless of its numbers, is able to have such an influence on the direction of our politics in Jefferson City is because they actually reflect the conservative values that all the Republicans were elected to in the first place. So they do a great job of messaging, and I think that's what you're seeing here on this redistricting. You see the Freedom Caucus once again leading the fight of talking about the need to bring us back to Jefferson City and really fixing one of the Rhino's biggest errors that were made a couple years ago. And you guys know I was at the forefront of this conversation, calling for a 7-1 map. Who could have guessed that the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. would be so close that the difference between a 6-2 and a 7-1 map in Missouri could have had a big impact, but that's exactly where we're at. So Donald Trump, when we talk about Donald Trump working miracles, if Donald Trump can now get the Rhinos in Jefferson City to act like Republicans, that's one more miracle that nobody thought Donald Trump could do. I think it's the right policy because look at what's happening in states like Illinois and California. The blue states are not giving any quarter to the Republicans in those states. In fact, Illinois has a map that looks like some kindergartner just threw spaghetti all over a piece of paper. So I don't think that the idea that we have to be nice is a legitimate reason why we shouldn't do something to overcome one of the biggest errors that I've seen us make down in Jefferson City. So my guess is even the governor, though Governor Kehoe hasn't said anything, my prediction is that absolutely Mike Kehoe is going to call that special session. He knows that he has to stay in line at a minimum with the Republican majorities for the next few years. And he's going, even though my guess is he's not going to be real happy about it because this isn't an issue that he'd really like to talk about. He's going to call that special session, and I suspect we'll see a 7-1 map coming out of the legislature in mid-September.
Okay, we're just over a year away from the primary election, and let's be realistic. The primary election in August is going to pick who the next county executive is in St. Charles County. Very red county, very conservative county. What's the update on what people should be asking you and your opponents as far as the top things in St. Charles County? Last minute or so we've got, Bill.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that we're going to be talking about for the next year is property taxes, personal property taxes, the tax burden that a growing county like St. Charles County is feeling. We have a huge imbalance between the amount of residential and commercial property that we have in our county. So the burden is being primarily felt by homeowners who are struggling to pay their property taxes and their personal property taxes. I came out yesterday and we're going to be unveiling a plan that my mission as the county executive of St. Charles County is that we're going to be the first county in the state of Missouri that's going to effectively get rid of personal property tax, and people in this county are going to own their cars. And then we're going to pivot from that to starting to reduce the regular real estate property tax burden in our county. And I see St. Charles as a real leader for this state. So folks are already excited about that message. We're generating a lot of energy so far, but this goes back to a relationship that I've been blessed with St. Charles County for more than a decade that I've been in the public view, and I'm very excited about getting this conversation going over the next 12 months.
Okay, is the website up? We've already tagged you on social media.
BillEigel.com, at Bill Eigel. It's Let's Go St. Charles.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon, Bill. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, guys.
All right, 314-912-1019.
He's talking about killing property taxes. I am all in. Let's effing go.
There it is. All right, just ahead. Just when you think this next generation couldn't get weirder. I'll explain in a minute.
Now, there's so much going on these days that it's sometimes hard to cover all of it during the week, which is why we have such amazing weekend programming to keep you informed during the off days. One of my favorite shows is the Randy Tobler Show, Saturday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
I have had enough of this. Turn my eyes to your
On the next Larry Connors USA.
So we are told that Trump and Putin will be meeting in person sometime maybe next week.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Beat the summer heat with Johnson Heating and Cooling, your trusted local family business. We specialize in residential air conditioning service, furnace and AC replacement, new construction, finished basements, room additions, and energy-efficient geothermal systems. At Johnson Heating and Cooling, our motto is simple. We treat our customers like we want to be treated, with complete transparency and honesty. Call 636-332-4141. That's 636-332-4141.
The 5th Annual St. Charles Jewish Festival is Sunday, August 10th from 11 to 2:30 at the Lewis and Clark Boathouse parking lot. Join us for a vibrant celebration of Jewish life and culture. Experience world-class Jewish music, savor delicious kosher cuisine, and enjoy family entertainment. From a massive bubble party to cultural crafts, a petting zoo, and inflatables, there's something for everyone. For more info and to secure your free ticket, visit jewishstcharles.org/festival. Come celebrate, enjoy, and be inspired.
Hey, Jamie Allman here for O'Fallon Family Floors, O'FallonFamilyFloors.com. Brian and his team, they're just amazing people. They're so proud of their operation. Pride in every installation. You can see that in the Google reviews. Pride in the great quality, pride in the great pricing, pride in the great variety, and pride in the fact that you can go into the store right off of Highway K at O'Fallon, or the store will come to you. That's the promise of O'Fallon Family Floors, O'FallonFamilyFloors.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewsTalkSTL. And you can visit us at INHSTL.com. That's INHSTL.com.
This is 101.9 and 94.1.
I have to tell you, if this is how they're going to behave, I'm rethinking my position.
News Talk STL. The 80s. Never been a decade like it, never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
I love that you're starting your day off right with Mike Ferguson in the morning. It's your boy Joe Pags. Talk to you tonight. But now let's get back to Mike.
Singer named Krista Berg here.
Very good.
Yep. Now, here's the trivia question here, though. The rumor is this song was written about whom in the 80s?
That's a good question.
Think of the 80s. I'll give you a hint. Krista Berg's British.
Margaret Thatcher?
No.
Princess Diana?
Princess Diana.
Okay.
Oh,
Lady in Red.
That's the rumor is that
That's
the
it.
song was written about Princess Diana.
Right.
Now, let's somebody Google search it. If I'm wrong, tell me.
Yeah,
I'll cop to it, but that's the story that went around.
I vaguely remember that being the rumor.
Fact check him. Get him. Get him. Chat. Get him.
That's another good choice. Very good choice. Classics like the 80s standards that's happening right now. Okay. So I've got a little more evidence that the world is getting dumber. My middle-aged indignation is justified for this one.
Oh, I'm definitely yelling at the kids on this one.
Okay, so there's a trend that apparently started in China. First of all, don't follow any trends that start in China. Okay, don't do that. But here's what the trend is. Adults, notice I didn't say grown-ups, adults, relying on pacifiers. Binkies.
Yeah, binkies. Yes.
Is there another name that you had them in your household?
No, I think binkies.
How old was Alex when you adopted her?
4.
Okay, so she was already past
she was
the
past.
binky stage.
Yes.
Binky's new news.
New news.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
So apparently, young adults are literally sucking on binkies to deal with stress, and this has been spotted around the U.S. It's like there's a TikTok trend of people not being ashamed of their binkies as adults.
Now, didn't people just used to smoke basically?
I was going to say, what happened to good old fashioned cigarettes?
I mean, and you've even got the vapes now. It's like, yes, if you've got a mouth fixation, which I mean that's part of it. Obviously, if you got a mouth, I would say opt for the cancer stick over the binky.
Okay,
I would give you that one.
So I found out about this on one of my reels. Fox, obviously I follow Fox News, and Fox News Radio's Kennedy had something to say about this, and here was her commentary. Because after I heard this, I had to go, that's not
real.
And so I did a Google search. I'm like, oh crap, it really is real. But here's what she had to say.
Human adults are using pacifiers to self-soothe. That's how bad it's gotten. That's how intense the regression is. It started in China kind of as a joke. People were paying the equivalent of $1.50 up to $70 for luxury pacifiers because, I don't know, like your mom didn't breastfeed you. She didn't breastfeed you for long enough. You just like sucking on things. And if you're using a pacifier and you're an adult, you're worse than an adult who goes to Disneyland or Disney World without children. Because I thought Disney adults were creepy.
Oh, she's calling out the Disney adults too.
No lies detected.
Man, okay. So look, we've actually talked about the infantilization of like the younger generations.
Right.
Partially it's a societal thing. I think some of us in the older generations have been infantilizing young people deliberately. Like there's some the helicopter parents infantilize their kids for sure well into adulthood. So all of the blame can't be placed on the kids, in this case. But my goodness, the regression, the fact that there are no coping mechanisms that this adult has other than to regress to infancy, is crazy to me.
Well, I found the article that I posted, or the article that I copied and printed out for you there, from the New York Post. Did a story on this. I mean, I found all kinds of stories on this, but I just happened to pick the one from the New York Post. Here's part of that article. It says TikTok is sucking it up literally with videos of American adults pacifying themselves in traffic, at work, or in the throes of burnout. In the comment section of a TikTok by somebody called the Bentist, one user swore, quoting here, "I just use an adult pacifier. It hasn't moved my teeth. Been using them for 4 years." Another doubled down, quoting, Just get an adult pacifier. I use one, and the ADHD tip, it works for me. I mean, and so not only are they doing it, which is bad enough.
Oh my god.
They're recording themselves and bragging about it.
Oh my gosh.
Can we bring back bullying?
That's one of the problems, I think.
I mean, seriously, can we bring back bullying? Is it bad for me to say that?
No, I think that's one of the good remedies, I think, on tap.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, the only time you ever used to see adults with binkies was due to rave culture, because there are certain substances that, I guess you grind your. I don't know. I'm not part of that kind of thing, but
the adults would actually use that at the dance.
It was associated with drug culture.
Yeah, because it causes you to grind your teeth or whatever the case is. And so they would. That's the only time in my entire life, unless you have something severely wrong with you, that I've ever seen that. This is not a trend that should be making a comeback. And to your point, yes, I will help you. I will hold them. I'll go high, you go low. You know?
Yeah. To bully these people.
We'll give you a reason to stuck in a beat.
But I think this, and going back to the whole infantilization thing, because I think that's really important. I think our society has made it difficult to properly raise kids in a way that they can regulate their emotions. Right. So they're not only coddled in their emotional dysfunction, but they're rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Socially.
It's almost like they're praised for it.
They're praised for it. You get victim points for declaring that I have a condition that makes me emotionally unstable. Everyone must make certain accommodations around me to deal with the fact that I am emotionally unstable. So then with the culture that is very much just fine with all of those things. Yes, you have to be tolerant. It's like, some kids throwing a tantrum, throwing glass bottles in a Walmart, and some ladies think, oh, you don't know where she's been, what she's going through. Just leave her be, let her get it out of her system. That's the bull crap that has created this thing. And I do have to cop to taking the blame as a generation, not me personally, but certain members of our generation created this mess.
So you go into a meeting, or you go into a restaurant, or you go to a concert at the park, or wherever you go, and you see a fully grown adult, and in this case, basically they all look like they're about mid-20s, and they're sucking on a pacifier.
Complete ostracization. I think that may be the only way
react to that.
I mean, look, because as adults, the physical aspects of bullying is frowned upon. So I can't give them a wedgie.
Let me put a situation. Let me put a situation. You're in line for ice cream or a soft drink at the park, and you turn around, and somebody comments. You turn around, and it's a 24-year-old with a pacifier, and you're looking eye to eye with a 24 who's got a binky in his pie hole. How do you react? What do you do? I look at him. I mean, because I am enough of a jerk. I would just go, "You look like an effing idiot. What is wrong with you?"
See, my reaction is,
are you retarded?
Exactly.
If you are, I'll give you a pass. But otherwise, you're an idiot.
So my thing is, I'm thinking that on some level, there's an attention grabbing aspect to this, which is why my reaction would be to try as best as I can to ignore them as a person, not just ignore the fact that they've got a binky. I think that is validating to them. If you ignore the fact that they have a binky and you treat them like a normal person, I ignore them completely as a person.
What about you, Jerome? See, but you can see now you can look down on those people in their 20s.
If I show
because
up,
you're no longer in your 20s, as of the other day.
I'm finally 30, and my knees already hurt, my back hurts, I'm cranky again.
Oh, just wait.
It gets better.
As
it worse.
If I show up on a date with somebody, and
jeez,
people sometimes have smoke rates. Like, real quick, I need a binky break. I'm going to walk out of that room quick. Oh. Now my tinfoil hat senses are tingling. Do we know? Because those sorts of things, sucking on things repeatedly is not good for your teeth.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah. So was this like a Chinese dentist or something? Is this like a psyop to get better dental paste?
I mean, because that's one of the reasons they tell you to not let your babies keep them for any longer than you have to, because it could affect the teeth. Now, I mean, like, for instance, with my kids, they didn't use them for that long.
Yeah.
But particularly when they were teething, I could put the Orajel on there and on the front of the top of the thing, and that seemed to help them for a little bit, help them get to sleep.
Now, but the other part of this is what are parents doing? How are you raising your kid that your 25-year-old wants to
Exactly.
To cope.
Yeah.
I
Doesn't make
mean,
any sense.
let's start cutting people out of wills.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
Yeah. There's a lot. And you mentioned the bullying thing. Look, society used to regulate these things at lower levels. You know, this used to be a kid getting a wedgie. He gets thrown in a locker a couple times. He realizes maybe this particular behavior is frowned upon in society. I'm going to do my best to cease.
It is not profitable.
It is not profitable to be this weak. So yeah, bring bullying back.
Now, on a less weird of a story, 80 years ago today, Larry Connors is going to provide the story of Japanese lives saved. So stay tuned for that.
That's interesting.
I've never seen you shine so bright. You were amazing.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Always be yourself, unless you suck.
On News Talk STL.
Me and smile. It took my breath away.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
When I think of early August weather in the St. Louis area, this weekend's forecast is exactly what comes to mind. Hot and humid. Tons of sunshine today. South wind at 5 to 15. I'm going to put the high at 95 with a top heat index right around 100. Cleared tonight. Should have a good view of that full August moon. Still muggy, though. 77 for the low. Saturday, 96 with a heat index of 102. Sunday, we're at 93, but it'll feel like 98. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
McGuire Moving is silver certified, which means they are great at relocating senior citizens. In fact, McGuire is a household name because McGuire understands the stress involved when moving older adults. So if you or family members need help moving, I highly recommend McGuire Moving. 314-241-0600. 241-0600. Get a free in-home estimate. McGuireMoving.com.
Larry Connors Commentary, brought to you by Vincent's Jewelers, offering a wide selection of jewelry, including lab-grown diamonds, affordable earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings, up to 75% off their natural counterparts. Visit VincentsJewelers.com. This is Larry Connors Commentary on News Talk STL.
80 years ago this month, the U.S. dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. President Truman went on radio warning the Japanese, we have more such bombs. If you don't surrender, you will suffer a rain of ruin from the air. The Japanese continued fighting. Hiroshima was not the original target. Kyoto was the plan, but it didn't have much military infrastructure, so Hiroshima was chosen. Days later, when the U.S. returned with the second bomb, the target was going to be Kokura. But the weather over Kokura, very cloudy. Plus, Japanese factories producing so much smoke, the bombardier could not get the target sighted. They circled and circled and then decided to ignore Kokura. New target, Nagasaki. Each bomb vaporized tens of thousands, destroying the towns. Now, the Japanese were ready to surrender. There remains a lot of debate. Did we need to use those atomic weapons? But there is no debate that due to clouds, smoke, fate, citizens of Kokura were spared what happened at Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
I want to tell you more about Wellington Environmental's dustless blasting services. Wellington can blast paint, grease, graffiti, even stripes off parking lots. Truly amazing and powerful. But can Wellington blast something more sensitive? Yes, Wellington can use dry ice to blast soot and odors off smoke-damaged surfaces right after a fire. Currently, Wellington uses dry ice to clean mold off wood inside a home. Why? Well, dry ice immediately disappears, turns into a vapor. That means no mess to clean up, no damaged surfaces. You need to check with Wellington, always researching and practicing with new, better, faster, safer equipment and products for you. And it's very easy to schedule an estimator for your next project. Call Cindy, 314-644-4930, 644-4930. Be well with Wellington.
Yo, this is Vic. Vic for Vets is proudly honoring our veterans. Every Wednesday at 11:05, you'll hear about that day's honoree and their incredible service to our country.
Hi, it's Ken. You want to nominate a veteran? Send their name, service information, and story to me, Ken, at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Brought to you by Heroes Care, Alamo Military Collectibles, and Monocle's Pizza.
Together, let's celebrate the heroes in our community. Vic for Vets, where honor meets gratitude.
Is your pup in need of a spa day? At Pretty Little Paws, we believe grooming should be a stress-free, tail-wagging experience. Our one-on-one, fear-free grooming ensures your furry friend gets the gentle, personalized care they deserve. No noisy kennels or long waits, just love, patience, and expert grooming in a calm, relaxing environment. Because a happy pup means a happy you. Pretty Little Paws, with 2 locations in O'Fallon and St. Peters. Visit us online at prettylittlepawsgrooming.com.
News, analysis, opinion.
They were looking for the intelligence community assessment.
I don't think statute of limitations are going to impact. That report is pretty damning.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
You got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows.
Hey, this is Larry Connors. Make sure you're listening later today at 6 o'clock on News Talk STL for my show, Larry Connors USA. Now, back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
This wasn't on my bingo card.
Yeah, I was not expecting.
There have been overwhelming chants that we need to get some more good old 80s country.
Yeah.
All right.
That's so funny.
So do you know it? That's the question.
Mm-hmm. It's not Dwight Yoakam. It is... George Jones?
Close. It's George Strait.
Oh, George Strait. Oh, yeah.
George Strait.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because I actually, believe it or not, grew up listening to country music in the 70s, and because that for some reason was allowed at my house. Rock and roll was not,
Right.
but it was like a lot of Kenny Rogers and the Mandrell
Like
sisters,
old school country.
Yeah, Boots Randolph, the Oak Ridge Boys, Statler Brothers, Charlie Pride. I mean that Glenn Campbell, that Anne Murray. That's a lot of who we listened to back then.
So we're getting a lot of really positive responses from playing that song. And I would like to remind the audience, I play your requests.
That's
so if
right,
you're not
yeah.
hearing country, you're just not requesting enough of it. Okay?
There it is. There it is. All right, 7:39. We'll talk about some election stuff here in a second, but Andre's got some thoughts on what we were just covering a minute ago, which, by the way, I found in the New York Post. I mean, Fox News covered it, then I found the confirmation of it.
Like, this is real.
So there's a trend, I don't know how big it is, hopefully not very big, of 20-somethings buying adult-size pacifiers and being unashamed, if not proud, of their binkiness. All right, Andre, give me your thoughts on this.
So I've seen this 3 times in the wild now.
Oh my god.
3 times.
What?
That sounds
3
like a
times.
ridiculously high number of encounters to me.
Right. One was totally understandable. The person had downs or something.
Okay. Sure.
Totally
Sure. Yeah. That's
100% get
total
that.
pass. Yeah.
Sure.
So, right. The other one, I kid you not, was between Wentzville and Clayton.
All right, that tracks.
And
that tracks.
Well, the guy, guy in a Beamer, business suit, driving down the road with a binky in his mouth.
Oh my gosh.
See, here's the thing. I don't mean to stereotype, but I can see Clayton going, okay, well, but
That's what I'm
Wentzville,
saying. Yeah.
Wentzville,
That's a good point.
You
Wentzville,
get your ass thumped, I think, in Wentzville.
Oh my gosh. So a proper gentleman in a Beamer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
With a binky in his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Then
talking.
the other
He's
one
talking
is
to his
like
assistant. Oh, wait, here, Rhonda. He's talking to his assistant, and she's like, "Mr. Smith, do you want me to schedule that meeting?" Yes, please. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was the third one?
The third one was like the Pinda adults, is what I call them. Where like you can tell that the person is a non-contributing person to society. They weigh 350 pounds and are shopping with their parents.
I'm right here, Andre. Come on, man.
So,
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh
I've
my
seen
gosh.
this particular person several times.
Okay, so were they riding on the rascal?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Looking for
understood.
somebody to put them on a leash so
Oh
they
my
can be themselves. One of those.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
definitely out there, even in our area.
Wow.
See, I guess I have to like rehearse better because I mean, I'm thinking because I would never run into that. But
Right.
I mean, truly, if I'm like turn around the line, I see that I am actually liable to go, you look like an effing idiot. What's wrong with you? And it's like, and they're gonna slap at me.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or they'll just cry.
All right, Andre, thank you for reporting in on
Yes.
the state of whatever the heck's going on with these people, man.
Keep your eyes peeled out in the wild there.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we'll do. Have a good one, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
Andre. Oh my goodness.
Andre's basically our field reporter.
That's right.
Out there like Steve Irwin observing the wild animals in their natural habitats.
I do got to say, though, if you think you could pick better bump music, Andre, you know my email.
You got a bone to pick. Is he
challenge?
Yeah, I was filling in for Ken, and he called in specifically to say that they had better music. I'm like, what do you? Okay, let's see you do it then.
Oh my gosh.
I need my
Okay.
pinky.
Oh no! Give me a pinky break. Pinky break.
Couple of election things here, real quick, guys. By the way, 742. Hundreds of thousands of voters have been removed from Missouri's voter rolls.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear the details.
So
before I
here,
react.
So Secretary of State Denny Hoskins says over 200,000 names have been removed from the voter rolls around the state so far this year alone. So here's what he's saying is that that includes 18,000 voters who have died. You know, basically they cross-referenced and checked death records and confirmed 18,000 people have died.
Okay, solid.
2,000 people either already had or obtained a felony.
Oh, okay. So
were barred.
Yeah.
So there's 10% of them right now.
All right.
20,000 right there.
Okay.
He said also, and I don't have a number in this report, but he says there were non-U.S. citizens on the rolls that were removed.
Okay. All
He
right.
said, but it looks like the bulk of them have been people who simply have moved out of state.
Okay.
Or who have moved and they did not update their voter registration.
Right. So it should be in a different.
Right. So they know
place.
that they don't live in the place they're registered to vote and they have been moved. So some of those people may go back and re-register to vote at their new address, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got 200,000 people, which, you know, you think about it, a vote in Missouri, a statewide vote, you're looking at 2.1, 2.3 million votes.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 8-9% of a vote.
Right.
You're talking about a significant percentage of the vote of
Mhm.
people who have been confirmed to be ineligible. And the secretary does say, and I found the article on MissouriNet, says that there was at least one illegal alien who cast a vote in the state.
Oh, actually cast a vote.
Actually cast a vote.
Yes. See, that would be a
Wow.
felony, y'all.
And he said that his office is actually working with ICE to try to get that person deported.
There you go.
I don't know anything about the person that's not listed in here, but that's happening in Missouri.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and look, if that's happening in Missouri, we're I think pretty low on the totem pole of illegal alien population. So even if it's a minuscule number in Missouri, the numbers have got to be crazy in some place like California.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Coming up on it's 7:45 right now. Man, I got to tell you, it's Friday. You know what that means.
Yeah, it's time for Not Today's Satan's coming right up. Now we've got one story that may be used, I think, as evidence for the man versus bear in the woods discussion.
Okay.
So we'll have a little talk about that once we come back from this information segment.
Any day, you've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll.
Mike Ferguson in the morning
My opinion is it's weird.
on Newstalk STL.
Down a one-way street, and you're not sure it's the way you want to go.
Jamie Ullman here with the great Eric Swanson of Newstedter's Fine Jewelers, Doherty Ferry and Big Bend. Tell me about Wow Diamonds.
Wow Diamonds. We call them that because when people come in and look at the diamonds, everyone says, wow. We feature those in natural diamonds, the mine diamonds. They're perfectly cut, polished, and proportioned. Not all diamonds come out of the cutting process the same, and ours are perfect. That's why they're called Wow Diamonds.
Newstedter's Fine Jewelers right there at Doherty Ferry and Big Bend, wowdiamonds.com.
Dude, this house is perfect. Crumbs everywhere, sticky counters. I've already texted the colony.
Sweet, I'll bring my 500 cousins. This will be the biggest ant rager of the summer.
Let's party! Wait, oh, what's that sound? Oh, no, it's those trucks with the green wheels. Party's over, man. Party's over.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. We'd love to help you out. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888 to learn more about our special $67 offer.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Still waking up like you fought a bear in your sleep? Yeah, let's fix that. This Labor Day, starting September 5th, save up to $725 on top brands like Tempur-Pedic, Serta, and Beautyrest, only at Snooze Mattress Company in Chesterfield Valley. Here's the real game changer, Dream Mapping. We scan your pressure points and match you to the perfect mattress. No guesswork, just real comfort, personalized for you. Plus, 0% easy financing and local no-pressure service. Get in here, because if you don't snooze, you lose.
Concerned about the condition of your windows driving up your energy bills? I was too. It's only called STL Windows and Doors. Their Provia windows combine old world craftsmanship the professional way, the Provia way, with over 65 years of combined experience. Locally owned, offering competitive pricing and personalized service that the big box companies can't match. Call today for your free in-home estimate and start saving tomorrow. 314-277-5952 or stlwindowsanddoors.com.
Playing in the dust, we find seeds of doubt. Don't water them with your tears. Think about all the years. Rather be without.
Hey, this is Todd Showalter. Join me for the Right Mind Show on Saturday at 5 as I try to put some fun back into this wacky radio station. You know, and speaking of wacky, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, let's get right to it here. 7:48 on this Flashback Friday. You know what that means.
I gotta surpass the Binky story here, so let's go. It's the weird, the wacky, and the worrisome. These are the stories that make you say,
Took on the devil.
Oh, hell no. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening. Devil.
Somewhere to be sure.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Amen.
in our first story, it was supposed to be about 15 pounds of cake. It turned out to be roughly 1,500 tarantulas.
What? No, God, please, no.
That seems like a big leap.
No.
It's a big change. Not unexpected. Yeah. So custom officials found the shipment at Cologne Bonn Airport in Germany in a package that had arrived from Vietnam. They were tipped off by a, quote, noticeable smell, end quote, that didn't resemble what you'd expect from boxes of chocolate sponge cake, which is how they were marked. Now, what they found instead was over 1,000 plastic containers, each housing a juvenile tarantula.
Why?
Yeah, why? That's the major question.
It's terrifying to think that tarantulas have a smell.
Yeah.
Oh no,
they do. Yeah. Well, they're little hairy little guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then some of them were dead, so that could have been
that
part of it too.
Yeah.
Now, many of the 8-legged creatures didn't survive the trip in a suspected violation of German animal welfare rules. While survivors were given to the care of an expert handler, the office said. Criminal proceedings are underway against the intended recipients in the Sauerland region east of the airport, in part for alleged violations of failure to pay the proper import duties and make the proper customs declarations. You do not violate the declarations and fee rules in Germany. They're sticklers about those kind of things. But you're not supposed to bring in tarantulas from other countries either.
Listen, I've got advice on how to handle them.
Okay, yeah.
Stomp.
Yeah, boots.
I've never understood the pet tarantula thing. I mean, I'm guessing that this is somebody who wanted to deal in like illicit exotic pets.
It's either that or illicit foods. Because I've seen that too. Because there are some nations over in Eastern Asia where they eat tarantulas. Like it's a thing. They'll fry them up and do kinds of things. So yeah, it's gross.
Don says some are for eating, some are for breeding. To that, I have to hit him with another.
No, God,
yeah. So gross.
I've never understood the pet tarantula.
1,500.
I never understood that.
Yikes. All right, now our second story may be among the most bizarre I've done for this segment.
Let's say something.
As hiking tourists encounter a man wearing nothing but a balaclava and plastic clogs and carrying a sex toy on a stick.
Oh. Was he going to a WNBA game?
Yeah, this guy sounds like nude Gandalf. That's what he because he's walking around with a sex toy on a stick,
like a Gandalf stick.
Through the woods.
Yeah,
so weird. This is so weird. Okay,
and here's the thing: is that I'm still angry at somebody who shall not be named for sending this story with a picture. Don't worry, Jerome. I'm not going to say your name in this.
Did I do that?
He sent that, and it was blurred out. Thank God.
Yeah, but
now you can't unsee it.
You can't unimagine it either.
No,
I had to show you guys what I was doing during the weekend.
There you go. Everybody has a hobby.
Yeah, the unidentified bird even posed for a picture carrying his bizarre prop Monday near the ruins of Gimish Castle, a popular hiking destination in the country of Slovakia, according to a Slovak outlet TVJOJ. He reportedly apologized to the two female hikers who spotted him, claiming that he thought no visitors would be around on a Monday, and he let them take his picture because
because he's clearly got a fetish.
There's something going on there. Quote, we were scared of him, but he told us he was sorry, that he didn't want to scare us. So he asked for his directions because he thought that since it was Monday, he wouldn't meet anyone. One of the tourists said. He said further, going on, the other tourist said, he said this was relaxation for him, that he often walks naked in the woods like this.
Well, isn't that special?
With the
thing,
the thing on the stick.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you got to give credit where credit's due. To the point you made a little bit earlier, this may be why some of the feminists prefer the bear.
Yeah, exactly. So the incident is being investigated by police in the nearby city of Nitra as a potential public order offense. This was reportedly the third encounter that visitors have had with a naked man in the same stretch of woods since 2020. Ladies, whether it's a man or a bear you meet in the woods, keep the bear spray handy.
That's right. Yes,
it's either one. Okay, now our third story here. Now this one's a doozy. Also, a zoo in Denmark is asking for donations, which is normal. I mean,
sure, yeah. I mean, the St. Louis Zoo you can donate to provide stuff for the animals.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a nonprofit organization that happens.
Yeah. Now, in this case, they're asking for donations of small pets as food for the predators.
What? No.
Unsurprisingly, they're facing a little backlash for
I
this.
would think.
The Aalborg Zoo said it is trying to mimic the natural food chain of the animals housed there, quote, for the sake of both animal welfare and professional integrity. And they're offering assurances the pets will be gently euthanized by trained staff. So the zoo in northern Denmark explained in a Facebook post that if you have a healthy animal that needs to be given away for various reasons, feel free to donate it to us. The zoo points to guinea pigs, rabbits, and chickens as possible donations. After being euthanized, the animals will be used as fodder, the zoo said. The online call for pet donations is accompanied by a picture of a wildcat baring its teeth with its mouth wide open and a link to the zoo's website, noting the facilities also is interested in receiving horses.
Okay, so first of all, buy a butterball.
Yeah.
Secondly, when you said basically that headline, I'm like, are they gonna set somebody's cat loose in the thing and just let him hunt?
Right, exactly. Well, that would look. If the idea was to allow the predators to be predators, you'd think letting the animals run live through their enclosures would be what they do. But instead, they're euthanizing them. So I don't even know what the point is.
For the animals?
What is the point?
Monty says, see, there is a use for all those spiders.
Okay, all right. See, look, yes, if the animal hunts giant spiders, Yes, please do release the tarantulas into their enclosures. But look, the zoo could not immediately be reached for additional comment.
Yeah.
No kidding. Although they faced a lot of backlash online for this. But I have a comment. WTF. Okay, so are the zoos in Denmark run by Elmer Fudd, and he's trying to decide if it's duck season or wabbit season?
There you go.
You know, I'm just curious. Now, obviously, there are animals that we raise for food that are sometimes kept as pets, like pigs and chickens. Okay, I get it.
Totally.
But when the zoo is making unqualified requests for furry friends, like they're trying to turn your pup into a poo-poo platter, you know what I'm saying.
Look on the devil. Oh, hell no. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening. Devil.
Just tell me where to be sure.
Not today.
Yeah, it's like Leo the lion. What's on the menu today? A corgi.
Oh, no. Why would you do this?
That is awful.
It is so bizarre.
And here's the thing is that before they put that announcement out, that went through like 3 or 4 levels of what do you think? Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, because this is a program. Like they had there's a place to do this on their website. They had to go to a web designer and say, I want you to create a link so people can donate their unwanted pets so we can turn them into food.
See, and if it had been something, not that this would be better, but if it was strays or like terminally ill pets, I could make. You're asking for healthy pets. You just don't want anymore.
Yeah,
like, come on.
Yeah, seriously. They're basically like, okay, you know how most people advertise is like, we are a no-kill shelter.
Yes,
they're saying we are a kill shelter. Yeah. That's what they're saying. It's like we're advertising as being a kill shelter.
Oh, jeez,
it's so crazy.
Come on, kids, let's go see Fido get fed to the lion.
And of course, this is a zoo. You would think just put in a chicken coop.
Yeah.
You can raise the chickens and you can release them into the tiger pit.
Let them hunt them.
Let them hunt them. It's fun. That's the natural order. Don't ask people to send their cats to be eaten by bigger cats.
My gosh. Unreal. Again, people, some of y'all just dumb.
Escape to Stone Ledge Distillery in historic Defiance, Missouri, where Missouri-made spirits meet unforgettable experiences. Sip handcrafted cocktails and martinis in our lounge, unwind in the private cigar room, or soak up the outdoors on our outdoor patio and live music stage. Celebrate Stolock Ozark Highlands whiskey, Inversion vodka, and the best of Missouri spirits. One drink at a time. Mention NewsTalkSTL and get 10% off your tab. Visit stoneledgedistillery.com. Your getaway starts here.
For over 50 years, Di Gregorio's Italian Market has been serving up a taste of Italy right here in St. Louis. Family owned and operated, nestled in the heart of the hill. From homemade sausage and meatballs to spadini, pizzas, pastas, and sauces, our wide variety of Italian specialties will transport your taste buds straight to Rome. For a truly authentic Italian shopping experience, visit your friends at Di Gregorio's. Shop local, shop Di Gregorio's Italian Market, where every bite tells a story.
Back pain? Follow me to Esquire Sports Medicine, where they've got your back. Esquire is the oldest sports medicine clinic in St. Louis. Dr. Draghi and his team of chiropractors can get you back to work, back to life without the pain. New patients usually scheduled within 24 hours. 314-644-0885. 644-0885. EsquireSportsMedicine.com.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason.
Hamas is denouncing an Israeli plan to send in its military to take charge of Gaza City. The Israeli Security Cabinet authorized the action, while also clearing the way for more aid to Palestinian civilians. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel wants to see a Hamas-free government in Gaza, an Arab government that will not pose a threat to Israel. The two Pennsylvania state troopers were answering the call, responding to a report of shots fired in Thompson, northeast Pennsylvania.
Upon their arrival, they were immediately fired upon and ambushed. They are very lucky to be alive. Trooper Parashinsky was able to place a tourniquet on Trooper Jenkins, and despite both of their patrol cars being riddled with bullets, a third trooper was able to get in and evacuate them.
And they are expected to survive. Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner Colonel Christopher Paris on WNEP-TV. The gunman who shot and killed a neighbor was subsequently shot to death by police. The FBI reportedly set to help Texas track down Democrat state lawmakers who fled the state to thwart a Republican congressional redistricting plan.
That's according to Republican Senator John Cornyn. He says, quote, Director Kash Patel has approved my request for the FBI to assist state and local law enforcement in locating runaway Texas House Democrats. His statement continued, quote, we cannot allow these rogue legislators to avoid their constitutional responsibilities. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has threatened to arrest any Democrats that participate in the effort.
Correspondent Ken Lorman. Could happen next week. Meeting of Presidents Trump and Putin. Reportedly no decision yet on where it will take place, except that it will be outside of Russia and outside the U.S. Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 80 points. NASDAQ futures 50 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
My back got injured very bad. I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. I looked at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed. Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
When I think of early August weather in the St. Louis area, this weekend's forecast is exactly what comes to mind. Hot and humid. Tons of sunshine today, south wind at 5 to 15. I'm going to put the high at 95 with a top heat index right around 100. Cleared tonight, should have a good view of that full August moon. Still muggy though, 77 for the low. Saturday, 96 with a heat index of 102. Sunday, we're at 93, but it'll feel like 98. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Life's legal challenges deserve experienced representation. For over 15 years, Cole Combs, attorney at law, has been serving St. Charles and surrounding counties with comprehensive legal expertise. From tax preparation and estate planning to family law and criminal defense, Cole delivers personalized solutions for your unique situation. You have traffic tickets, need a business formation, real estate matters, one call will handle it all. Cole O. Combs, attorney at law. Call 636-949-0010, extension 3 today, or visit colecombs-law.com.
Hey folks, Jamie Allman here. Exciting things are happening at the Hideout in High Ridge. Famous for the Sunset Patio, 4 big screen TVs, live music and events, and of course, the wings. The Hideout now has a brand new menu featuring handcrafted burgers and new items like their signature sunset dip and Dave's Chili. And now a second location, the Hideout at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, featuring great event space. You can stop by for lunch or dinner. The new 2025 Hideout and the new Hideout at Sugar Creek Golf Course. We'll see you there.
Mike Ferguson.
I have you now, you muscle-bound oaf.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
Feast your eyes on your new leader.
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm? Get up, St. Louis.
Thundercats!
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
This is your cousin.
All right. Sam Page, he's got a lot to worry about these days.
Sure does.
I mean, there's the whole, felony indictment thing.
Yeah, that little
got that
little thing going on there.
And now he's got somebody challenging him within the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, time is running out for tornado victims to apply for federal assistance. Cardinals back in action tonight. They had the day off yesterday. They are hosting the Cubs. I'll tell you all about that and how you can watch them for free here in just a moment. It is 8:05 right now on this Flashback Friday. Let's go ahead and dump some news on you here.
The morning news dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks, the morning news dump.
Sam Page has a challenger from within the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A credible challenger.
A very credible challenger. State Senator Brian Williams announcing that he's running for St. Louis County Executive, setting up that primary race. Williams was elected to the state Senate in 2018, reelected in 2022, so he is term limited out in 26 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Page has been indicted on 4 criminal counts related to his use of taxpayer funds in a campaign. And again, here's the thing is you're like, Mike, we've covered this story. I know that. We know that Sam Page has been indicted on felony counts. I just like saying it. I just like the words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, it feels good.
It does.
Good.
I like
good mouth feel, as they say.
Yeah. So that primary election is just a little over 1 year from today. Republican Councilman Dennis Hancock has already announced his campaign for county executive as well. All right, follow up from one of the tragedies that happened this week. Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll providing an update on the shooting that happened at Fort Stewart in Georgia on Wednesday. Secretary Driscoll praising the efforts of other soldiers who helped stop the shooter, emphasizing that they saved many lives this week. He also says they're looking into how they can prevent similar attacks from happening in the future.
We absolutely will want to learn from this investigation. We do not want something like this to ever happen again on an Army base. And so if there are things we can do to improve safety, we will take those steps.
Okay, shooters in custody. 5 soldiers of Fort Stewart were injured in that shooting. The shooter used his personal firearm, not any military issued firearm. And the story just kind of fell off the map by yesterday afternoon.
Oh, yeah. It came and went pretty much same day.
So I don't know what that means, if anything.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're going to have more information as far as the motivation of the shooter. We don't have anything that's being reported to us at this point. So it could be absolutely anything. I would caution against reading into anything just yet, but it could be anything. I would caution against ruling anything out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's still wide open investigation. So keep an eye on it, I suppose, and see if anything comes of it. Now, I will say, if nothing comes of it, if it gets completely memory hold, something's up.
Something's wrong. Yeah, exactly. All right. 2 deaths are confirmed after a helicopter crashes into a barge near Alton, and a JF Electric contractor for Ameren, and then a subcontractor for JF Electric were replacing some tower lighting when the helicopter hit some power lines, causing that accident. Basically, according to a witness, the helicopter got caught in those lines, pulled to the side, and then it couldn't recover and crashed right into the barge and essentially exploded.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous job, by the way, doing any of that stuff.
All right. President Trump wants to change how the Census Bureau collects information.
President has instructed the Commerce Department to exclude immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Writing on social media, he said census data collections will be based on modern-day facts and figures and results of the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump signed a similar memo during his first term in office. That measure was later challenged legally, with courts ruling that only Congress holds authority to define who is counted. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Okay, so a couple angles to this particular thing. I mean, as far as the way the census should be done, pretty much the president's just right. President Trump is right.
Clearly so.
On that. But the courts, when they ruled, I had to kind of jog my memory on this case because that was so many years ago. But the courts didn't rule that the president was wrong the first time. They just ruled that he doesn't have the authority to make it happen, that Congress has to make it happen constitutionally,
right?
Which I think is probably also correct.
Yes. So here, Congress, it's in your court, ball's in your court.
Yeah.
And the White House has made their position clear, what they want to do. You have to make it the legal thing to do.
This is one of those things that it should not be a Republican versus Democrat thing. I mean, this should be so common sense.
Oh, yes.
That everybody goes, oh, yeah,
Well, of course.
There's a loophole we got to tweak. We got to fix that. But will the Republicans have the guts to do something this basic and this simple and this common sense?
And sadly, we can count on the Democrats to stand with the illegals.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be an easy, nonpartisan thing because all common sense people, Republican and Democrat, whatever, they understand the idea that only citizens should vote.
Right.
But for some reason, our representatives are squishy about this
And here's
issue.
the thing is that legal immigrants who are not citizens are still rightfully counted,
They're still counted
in the census.
They're still counted. That's true.
What the president is saying is that those who are in the country illegally should not be counted.
Because they have no right to be here and they can be deported at any time.
And they should be
They should be deported at any time.
And so the president's right. I mean, this is a no-brainer on this. So
Should be.
Congress, get on the ball and fix it right after you release all the Epstein files.
Exactly.
All right.
We're not letting it go.
No, we're not. Okay. A man now facing federal hate crimes charges after that deadly attack outside of a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. earlier this year. Talking about another case that got memory hold and that's being brought back.
Real.
The indictment includes 9 counts against Elias Rodriguez, including that hate crime resulting in death charge. During a press conference on Thursday, U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, we're talking about the former Fox News personality, Judge Jeanine, she says that she is committed to fighting hate crimes in her district.
Don't even think about targeting people in this district because of who they are or because of where they're from. I promise you, justice will be swift and it will be certain.
So the attack left 2 Israeli embassy staff members dead. Investigators say the suspect traveled across state lines before opening fire in what they described as an anti-Semitic and politically motivated assault. This was another one of those cases where he was yelling the whole Free Palestine thing when he was being hauled in because he didn't try to run after he committed the murders.
Right. So another peaceful terrorist kafia where.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then you've got the being conservative. I'm not wild about the entire concept of hate crimes.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I would think premeditated murder was enough.
That should be enough.
Action. But
are you making it super murder now?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Well, and it's prosecuting thought.
Right.
You know, and these are obviously evil thoughts. But I would think that we should be able to put him in jail for the rest of his life based on what he actually did, the actual actions. But if the law is there and it's available to prosecutors to pile on for something like this, I guess you can't blame him for taking it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. Tornado victims have a little more time to apply for federal assistance in St. Louis. FEMA is extending the deadline for initial applications by 18 days. And by initial applications, we're talking about just get your foot in the door, fill out the thing. You can add more information later.
Right.
So the deadline is now August 26th. It originally was Monday. An estimated 700 households in the city that were hit by the tornado in May have not applied for recovery assistance, and the city's trying to get everybody to do that. FEMA is accepting applications through the official app and at disasterassistance.gov. At this point, I'm thinking this tornado hit in mid-May.
Yeah.
And it's on you if you haven't applied yet.
They went door to door kind of explaining to everybody that this was a thing.
And I get if your laptop was destroyed in the tornado, go to the library, or I'm sure there's somebody that you know who has a phone. So, okay, 18 days, but I don't think they should extend it after this.
If you have a friend or acquaintance who you know was affected by the tornado and hasn't done this, first of all, give them a smack in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And then help them to the library to get this done.
All right. You can now reserve your 2026 Battlehawks season tickets.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. The UFL is taking deposits for this coming season. For Battlehawks fans, season tickets also include a discount on team merchandise, priority seating, and player meet and greets in addition to other events. More information is at the Battlehawks page on the UFL's website. Cardinals back at home tonight. They had the day off yesterday. They are hosting the Chicago Cubs. Game time is 7:15. This one is actually going to be free and over the air on TV.
Oh, nice.
KMOV is carrying the game, so you can watch it on Channel 4.
So soon that it is no more. And all at once depart, no destination. making cold my heart to fight your war. Stop it right now.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. Mike Ferguson. Gabe Pfeiffer. Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Chris Arts here, and after Becky and I leave church on Sunday, we head down the street to Capriotti's to grab a classic meatball sub. And of course, for dessert, I get a giant chocolate chip cookie. I love Capriotti's, and you will too.
On Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
Hey there, Tim Jones here. When life changes, you need someone you can trust. That's Todd Sivia. At Sivia Law, they're dedicated to helping you through all of life's transitions, specializing in estate planning and elder law. With 7 convenient locations in the area, expert guidance is always close by. Call 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, or visit CiviaLaw.com. Don't forget, first 10 people that tell them Tim Jones sent me get a free $300 strategy session. Sivia Law, helping you protect what matters most.
The 5th Annual St. Charles Jewish Festival is Sunday, August 10th from 11 to 2:30 at the Lewis and Clark Boathouse parking lot. Join us for a vibrant celebration of Jewish life and culture. Experience world-class Jewish music, savor delicious kosher cuisine, and enjoy family entertainment. From a massive bubble party to cultural crafts, a petting zoo, and inflatables, there's something for everyone. For more info and to secure your free ticket, visit jewishstcharles.org/festival. Come celebrate, enjoy, and be inspired.
Taste the difference that fresh local makes. Anthony's Produce supports our local farmers by bringing you the finest locally grown produce in town. From the juiciest peaches and melons to the sweetest corn and ripest tomatoes, we've got it all. Plus, discover our amazing selection of locally made jams, salsas, pickles, and fresh sourdough breads. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6:30, and Sundays, 8 to 5. 701 Jungerman Road in St. Peters, or visit anthonysproduce.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL. The 80s.
Bueller.
The 80s.
Let's go while we're young.
Never been a decade like it.
Shall we play a game?
Never will be.
Where are the dates?
It's Flashback Friday.
Hi, this is Jefferson County Councilman Billy Crow with a reminder to check out our new show, Jeffco Patriot Radio, this and every Sunday at high noon. Now, back to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show.
This is a band that should have been bigger, a band called Glass Tiger out of Canada.
Mm-hmm. I dig it.
Yeah, they should have been bigger than they were, but they had this song, and then there was like a secondary hit that they had. But this guy has a great voice. Good stuff. All right, 8:19. There are times that Gabe just nerds out on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And you were pointing something out to me a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Now, even our friends at Red State have caught up on this as well.
Yeah, this is a Red State story.
And so this has to do with robots and our relationship to robots.
Yeah.
What is this all about?
Okay, so Brad Slager, writing for Red State, and was basically reporting on something that came out of NBC. NBC was talking about this, how with the advent of like drones and automated deliveries and those little robots, the little inventory robots that are now in grocery stores and AI and everything.
Those,
yeah. So now some of us have become, probably in the older generations, have become a little less tolerant of all of this intrusion into our lives by these non-human entities that are kind of doing human things.
Mm-hmm.
And as we do, we are developing language to describe our displeasure with these new members of society. So we've got robophobic slurs now.
Robophobic.
Nice. Yes. Yeah.
I'm still trying to get my head around robophobic.
Now, I just personally coined that term, but the idea is that basically you're referring to AI or robots in a derogatory manner, and NBC brought this to light because as the purveyors of personal niceties and societal norms, they have to call out the bigots when we rise up out of the ranks. And now the particular word that they are harping on is clanker. Clanker is a word that actually comes out of the Star Wars universe.
Of course it does.
Of course it does, because I think the prequel trilogy, I think people in your generation, Jerome, are the ones who kind of, in terms of Star Wars, they grew up with the prequel trilogies mostly as a primary thing. And in the Clone Wars, basically it was Republic soldiers who were clones versus a whole lot of robots. And of course, they developed their own vernacular, military vernacular, and they would call the enemy clankers. Right. So
and this is a slur now.
This is a slur that has entered the real world now that we use against.
And this
AI.
is and I'm trying to. Okay, so
clankers.
So if you're gay and you're offended by somebody using the word fag, for instance,
right,
or you're black and somebody uses the N word or something like that,
right?
There are people who are so nerdy, they're like, you can't use the C word, clanker.
You can't use clankers.
I mean, is that where we are now with this?
I mean, well, at the very least, unless you are a member of the AI community, you at least can't use the hard R. I mean, if you want to roll up, he's like, "Hey, what's up, my clanker?" That's a whole different story, I think. But as an avowed robophobic man myself, I have a list of slurs.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to add to our vernacular. So, so on top of clanker, there's another actually sci-fi franchise that has its own, because we're fighting robots very often in sci-fi,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So
like the Terminator,
like in Terminator, and in this case, it's Battlestar Galactica. They were fighting robots, and they called them toasters. So yeah, exactly. So toaster is another slur. You can call them science project. That's kind of
a slur too.
That's a science. Yeah, if you call it an AI individual a science project.
Time out. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you were at MIT, what was your senior project that you did?
Oh, my senior project was a moon mission.
You built a moon robot.
I did, actually.
Okay. I just want to point that out.
Yes, I did.
Traitor.
I could
time back in.
I did contribute to the problem. You're right. You're right. Science project. Okay. Oil drinker is one of those. Is one of those. Because some of these, especially the drone types, especially the big drone types, they require oil.
It's a sickness. They just need a program.
Yeah, exactly. Battery burner is another one, because they're just eating power.
See, you know what's going to happen at some point is that, as our society continues to be taken over by robots, there's going to be somebody who's like, I can't believe you're so robophobic, Dad. I love him. No daughter of mine's ever going to marry a robot. That is so bigoted that that's where we're going.
Oh, absolutely.
I just wanted to say I don't appreciate that, because I am a big robots' rights activist.
Okay.
Right. Yes, the Democrats are going to add the robot rights to their list of many
things. They
can
literally build voters.
Right. Well, see, that's one of the things they do. They like to manufacture voters. Yeah. So if you had one of those things where your daughter brings home, one of these advanced humanoid sort of robots, I mean, you might say, "Hey, get that tin skin out of my house." Right? Okay, exactly.
You're gonna get shamed on social media.
Look, I don't want to see any rust monkeys in my neighborhood.
Oh, I actually legit would be careful of that one.
Hey, or you could call them wirebacks. That's another one. These are some of my faves, by the way. So just letting you all know. And then, and of course, especially if we're talking about the little robots, bolt munchers, little bolt munchers, just out here, just clogging up our streets with their little mechanical faces or whatever. And of course, if you are of the Harry Potter ilk, this one may speak a little bit more to your internalized robophobia. Copperblood. Copperblood.
Honestly, that sounds like a pretty good name for like a metal band.
Copperblood. So I think we're starting to, as AI and robots and all these things start entering into our personal lives, our personal spaces and society and things like that. We actually may end up with a portion of society that will use terms like this.
Oh,
I mean,
sure, yeah.
I think this is a real thing. I mean, as much as I'm joking, I think the advent of robots and AI into our lives on some level, which is intrusive. I think on some level, a lot of us view as intrusive, is going to breed a lot of animosity. And I think that's kind of
and not to pull it too far off the rails here, but I saw a report. Well, you and I both saw it. It was that short video report of these companies that are trying to make basically these very human looking robots with AI that can communicate with you. And they're like, these are going to be companions.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that is not a very far leap from, I don't need a real person. I can at least talk to this.
Oh, absolutely.
And eventually somebody will, well, I mean, we talked about, we played that Jim Acosta did that interview so-called with the AI avatar.
Yeah.
Well, later on, if you read down in that story, that victim's mother, the dad told Jim Acosta she talks to it for hours a day.
Really?
Because she hasn't let go of her son. I mean, that's the obvious thing.
That's
and so
crazy.
This isn't a big leap for literally replacing human beings with nothing.
Right.
These are just nuts, bolts, and copper blood, which is still a pretty cool name here. Yeah.
Awesome. We have actually on that point, we do have a caller, David, who wants to reiterate we're actually closer to the future we're talking about than we think.
All right, David, what do you got?
Hey, good morning, Mike and Gabe. I was just telling Jerome that there's actually lawsuits out there of some depraved individuals with their, I guess they make robot sex dolls. They're trying to sue to have the right to marry them.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
I mean, the kooks are out there, guys. The kooks are already out.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's not that much of a leap from these humanoid robot things. Is basically create a whatever it is that you fantasize that you want, and you can have it there.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, the marriage, because it is associated with a lot of benefits, it's like insurance and married filing jointly on your taxes and things like that, because marriage has a number of benefits.
Stabilizing effect on society.
Stabilizing effect on society. In reality for real marriages, but then a lot of people are trying to glom onto the benefits of marriage without actually having real marriages. And now the argument is out there that basically anything can be marriage.
Yeah. So I mean,
can you imagine making that argument to your insurance company that your robot wife needs a new battery?
Right.
And should be covered under health insurance.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to deduct your medical deductible, but also the mechanics bill?
Right, exactly.
Right.
I should be able to use my HSA at the robot mechanics. Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know, because when I saw, and they always make these demonstration models to resemble beautiful women.
Yes, of course.
And so there's always that little bit of creepiness to it, because there's a guy out there going, "Oh, that would be so much better. I can't get a real date." Yeah.
Now, what happens if your robot wife divorces you?
Oh,
imagine you marry your AI.
Just unplug her.
You lose half your stuff to
unplug.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when the operating system is misbehaving, what you do is you do a hard reboot. You unplug it and then plug it back in again, and you reset.
There was a movie, and I've seen clips of the movie, but I told you about this movie that kind of along those lines, where It's like these, they called them, I think in the movie, they called them synths.
Yeah.
Which are like the
synthetic
human,
humans.
synthetic humans, robot humans. And it's called Wife-like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the whole thing on like the ethical aspect of it. It actually looks like a creepy but interesting movie.
Now, so in the modern day, we have PETA. Are we going to have like robot liberators that are like, free the robots? And,
right.
Yeah. Was it People for the Ethical Treatment of Robots? Peter.
You know what? Let's just dive out of that conversation right there.
Clanker lover.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Someone in that control room is out of control.
On News Talk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
When I think of early August weather in the St. Louis area, this weekend's forecast is exactly what comes to mind. Hot and humid. Tons of sunshine today. South wind at 5 to 15. I'm going to put the high at 95 with the top heat index right around 100. Cleared tonight. Should have a good view of that full August moon. Still muggy, though. 77 for the low. Saturday, 96 with a heat index of 102. Sunday, we're at 93, but it'll feel like 98. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Fox News commentary.
There's a new breast milk flavored ice cream on the market. Who asked for this? I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Sponsored by AxeCap Ventures. America, listen up. Gold prices are breaking records. With inflation raging and central banks hoarding, every American should own gold. And like President Trump said, whoever holds the gold makes the rules. AxeCap Ventures owns one of Nevada's largest undeveloped gold deposits and trades for pennies on the dollar. This could be your way to ride the gold boom. AxeCap trades under GARLF on the OTC. Visit axecapventures.ca today.
Novelty flavors are nothing new and are often used for no other purpose than to generate buzz. And this next ice cream flavor rollout is no different. Frida and Oddfellows have partnered to create perhaps the most natural ice cream flavor ever made. Breast milk flavored ice cream is now available nationwide. Who asked for this? Apparently, it tastes sweet, a little salty, smooth, with hints of honey and sprinkles of colostrum, and features a distinct colostrum yellow tinge. How yummy. But no, this ice cream doesn't actually contain any human breast milk. Thank goodness. I guess it just mimics it. Which leads me to question, how did the adult makers of this ice cream flavor know what breast milk tastes like? You know, it may drive headlines and it might pique some curiosity, but as for me, I think I'll stick to chocolate and vanilla. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Located in the heart of St. Charles, Kevin's Guns is your family-owned destination for all things firearms. Whether you're a collector, hunter, or military enthusiast, we have it or can get it for you. From new to used rifles and handguns in every style and caliber, our friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help educate you and ensure you make the perfect choice for your needs. Buy, sell, or browse our incredible selection at kevinsguns.net or call 636-493-1195. Kevin's Guns, where gun enthusiasts come home.
Experience the true flavors of Mexico at Dos Primos, O'Fallon's premier Mexican restaurant. From sizzling fajitas to homemade caldo de pollo, every dish is crafted with the freshest ingredients and traditional recipes, all made fresh daily in our kitchen. Cool down with our famous margaritas or your favorite cerveza, while our friendly staff makes you feel like family. Dine in or carry out. Visit DosPrimosMexicanRestaurant.com or find us on North Main in O'Fallon.
Hey, it's Tim Jones. Chris and I are hitting the road. We're off to Israel next week. Believe it or not, we convinced Chris to go back.
This time, News Talk STL is teaming up with our friends at Newsmax for a full week in Israel. Tim and I will be checking in on all our local shows next week, in addition to doing our show direct from Israel a few times. And I'm hoping this visit includes fewer missiles and more meals.
What is really going on in Israel, we'll tell you firsthand all next week.
News Talk STL and Newsmax teaming up again for Mission Israel exclusively on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's Chris Cooper here, Serenity Wealth Management, joining us this Sunday on News Talk STL. For Serenity Wealth Now Radio, we've got special guest Mike McKenna joining us in the studio. He is the proud owner of the Macadoodles franchise in Garden Prairie. So tune in, check us out Sunday morning, 9 a.m., News Talk STL, or on Serenity Wealth Now socials.
Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Sunday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
So many ways to listen to News Talk STL.
Join the conversation. All you have to do is say,
Hey Alexa, play News Talk STL.
Welcome to News Talk STL, conservative talk radio for St. Louis.
The 80s. Excellent. Never been a decade like it. Never will be. It's Flashback Friday.
Baby, I get so scared inside. I don't really understand. Is it love that's on my mind, or is it fantasy? Heaven is in the palm of my hand, and it's waiting here for you. What am I supposed to do in a child of tragedy?
Hey, Chris Arp from the Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show. Make sure that you're listening to our show this afternoon from 4 to 6. Now back to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show.
And, of course, Ozzy Osbourne duet with Lita Ford, who's going to be at the Family Arena on October 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I'm bringing Jerome to that. Some of my baseball buddies, a few people here from the radio station. Go to the Family Arena's website, and you can get information on tickets. It's Lita Ford and Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. Firehouse is going to be there. A band called Red Voodoo, which I'm not really familiar with. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be there. So if you're going to be there, then let us know, and I can hang out in the lobby area before we head up to our seats, and we can hang out and say hi.
Yeah, you might even get a chance to see Mike Ferguson in a leather jacket with fingerless gloves on. So
maybe not.
I'm trying to
but
talk
it's,
him into it.
yeah, it's I guess anything's possible, but probably not that. I'm just saying. 8:36 right now. By the way, we've got a couple pair of tickets to that show still to give away. So maybe at some point this month, at some point next month, we're going to give away another pair of tickets. Two pair of tickets to that show. So it's going to be a lot of fun on this. Okay, some interesting stuff's happening election-wise. We were all over, I guess it's just been a week or so now that Sam Page was indicted by a jury, St. Louis County jury, on the crimes he committed using taxpayer money for campaign purposes. And, of course, he's arguing he didn't do anything wrong, and he's trying to go about his business. He actually just showed up at the county council meeting the other day, didn't mention it, no big deal. Let's just keep going here. But he faces 4 criminal charges, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned this a number of times before. Many Democrats can't stand Sam Page. It's not just Republicans who don't like it.
Yeah.
Democrats own businesses too. Democrats have kids who weren't allowed to go to school too. And so there are a lot of people who can't stand him, but they're still, between a Republican and a Democrat, most of them are still going to vote for a Democrat, even if they hate him. That's just how it works. So now the Democrats have a credible, legitimate challenger within the primary race, State Senator Brian Williams. Now, Brian Williams, from what I can tell, just looking at his statements, his social media, his votes in the legislature, he's every bit as far left as Sam Page. So when it comes to like outlook on economy and big government stuff, I don't know that you've necessarily got that much difference. The difference with Sam Page is being his absolute authoritarian, tyrannical approach to things. Brian Williams, being in the minority in the legislature, is experienced now in trying to make deals and compromises. So that might be now, Sam Page was in the legislature before he ran for county council, and that didn't do him any good. But with Sam Page, you've got somebody who's just corrupt to the bone through and through. With Brian Williams, you've just got a leftist politician.
Yeah.
So Democrats have a choice here. Do you go with the guy who is term limit out of the state Senate? He's been serving there for 8 years. Probably not going to change your worldview or your political outlook on things. But you've got somebody without all that baggage. And then you set up a race between him, because I think it's very possible that the Democrats throw Sam Page out in the primary.
Hopefully.
It's possible.
Hopefully.
And then you've got, as it stands right now, Dennis Hancock running against Brian Williams, which would be about as different ideologically as you could possibly get, with Dennis Hancock being pretty conservative,
Mhm.
Fiscally conservative. He's been a mayor. So you've got two completely different types of experienced resumes when it comes to government. Now, here's the question I've got for Republicans, though. And a lot can happen between now and a year from now, which is when the primaries are going to be. If there are more Republicans who get into that race, then obviously you say, okay, well, who's going to be the strongest candidate? As it stands right now, I have not heard of anybody else thinking about getting into the race for St. Louis County Executive on the Republican side. As it stands right now, Dennis Hancock is the front runner. He's, at this point, he's the guy. So do you take a Democratic ballot on the primary day just to get rid of Sam Page?
That is
Which is legal.
Yeah.
Now, we're supposed to register with a party when it comes to voting now, which I think they might get rid of next year, which I hope they kind of do. If you're not going to close the primaries, then I don't know why you'd register other than to give each party like a ready-made voter list and fundraising list, which is really all that's good for. But you can also change your partisan affiliation as many times as you want. So you could go and change your party affiliation to Democrat 2 weeks before the election and then grab a Democratic ballot. You might be able to walk in and just say, I want the Democratic ballot. They may still let you do that. I'm not sure what the rules are going to be. But Republicans, do you go out of your way to vote Democrat in order to get rid of Sam Page?
So kind of what some Democrats were doing with Nikki Haley when it was Haley. Nikki Haley. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
When they were trying to keep President Trump from being able to, be the contender, they wanted to flood in there and get her to be the Republican, at least one of the top, finalists for the Republican, committee or, nominations.
Right.
I'm a very much and sometimes over, too far with my principles, but there's something that feels a little wrong voting Democrat.
I totally get that.
But at the same time, I think it's couldn't be any clearer that Sam Page needs to go
one way or the other. Yeah.
If that's what that takes to get somebody that might be a smidget better, and I hate the whole lesser of two
or
evils.
Not as bad.
Yeah. Not as, that's a better way of putting it, but I think that would be probably the most responsible move that we could make if if we had that opportunity.
So here's the trade-off: is that I don't believe there are any statewide. Well, maybe the auditor might be up, but Scott Fitzpatrick is going to be reelected in a landslide. But there might be a primary race in your local state Senate area, your state representative. All state representatives are going to be up for reelection. So if you do that, then you forfeit your right to vote in the primaries on the Republican side for the state legislature. That's your trade-off. Now, if you're in a deep red area or a deep blue area, then it doesn't matter. That might be the strategic thing to do. I don't have a moral or ethical problem because it is strategy and it's legal. It does feel icky a little bit. But I would not fault somebody for saying we have to protect we have to protect our community. We have to protect our churches. We have to protect our businesses. We have to protect our families, because what Sam Page has done in abusing his authority has been an affront to our individual rights, our human rights, our constitutional rights. He has and frankly endangered people. Let me give you an example. When all of those shutdowns were going on, I ended up with a heart condition called supraventricular tachycardia, SVT, which basically just means my heart beat way too fast. Sometimes, there's that little wire, for lack of a better term, between the upper and lower chambers of your heart. About 1 in 200 or 300 people get 2 of them.
Ooh.
And so the little electrical charges, you get double. And that's what happened. And it was a fairly routine thing to get it done. But it was a battle to be allowed to go in and get my heart fixed because of Sam Page's shutdowns, because it wasn't considered an imminent emergency. And according to Sam Page's shutdowns, I wasn't allowed to do that with a freaking heart issue. Now, my heart's very healthy now because we finally got it done. And I'll be really honest, if I weren't a media personality, I don't know if they would have finagled it. But they finally had to go through the hoops and convince that a cardiologist had to say, no, this guy needs his heart fixed.
Quite literally, the thing that keeps you alive having problems was not imminent enough.
Right. under the way that these shutdowns were. And so we have to protect ourselves, and that is one option that we're going to have. And yeah, this is why I take it very, very personally, not to mention businesses up and left. The county literally lost population, and I think it is directly due to Sam Page and his shutdowns and his authoritarianism. And I don't think Brian Williams, and I'm going to try to get him on the show here. I mean, he's a leftist Democrat. I don't know if he's going to come on a conservative talk show, but he's welcome to be on here to find out that we're probably going to disagree with just about everything on him. But it could be a similar thing. Voters in the city had a choice between a left-wing ideologue who was damaging people and hurting people with authoritarianism. So they went with another leftist who's going to focus on what local government should be doing. If that's Brian Williams, then the Democrats have a better choice. Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with him on stuff, and he's going to have the majority on the county council. So we're not going to like everything that happens. And then at least we're going to have a contest between Dennis Hancock and conservative solutions and Brian Williams and the leftist ideology.
Now, Ben from Facebook says, I say Mike Ferguson runs for county executive. Problem solved, and I 100% agree.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Our country was founded by geniuses, but it's being run by idiots.
On News Talk STL.
Planning your next adventure? Head to Landell EE Clothing Store in Wentzville and gear up for less. Whether you're hitting the beach or the slopes, we've got you covered at prices that won't break the bank. Find us at 12680 Veterans Memorial Parkway, just west of Highway A off I-70. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Landell EE, where adventure meets affordability. Stop by today and discover the bargains waiting for you.
Hey, this is Jim Avery, the most conservative Republican in the race for state Senate in Northern Jefferson County. I'm a 3-time combat veteran. I'm going to fight for the unborn, defend the Second Amendment, and eliminate personal property tax. I want to invite you all to my campaign kickoff on August 14th at 6:30 p.m. at Notting Hills. Live music, great food, and a lot of fun. This is Jim Avery, and I'd love to see you all there. The event is free, but space is limited, so visit jimavery.com to RSVP today.
Paid for by Jim Avery for Senate. Jacqueline Rye Bold, Treasurer.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar selection while soaking in our friendly family atmosphere. Whether dine-in or carry-out, your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
St. Louis is going to cut back on minority contract for construction, and we will talk to the heavyweight champ of municipal policy at the Show Me Institute, David Stoops.
Right in, man. Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Randy Tobler here. Pour a big cup of coffee and catch my show every Saturday morning from 6 to 9. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning here on News Talk STL.
I like what 101 Straight Up just said on Rumble, using quotes. Sam Page indicted has a nice ring to it. Sam Page convicted would sound even better.
Yeah, I like the sound of that one a little bit better.
Totally. Oh my goodness. Great 80s Flashback Friday choices today.
Yeah, we had a nice buffet of different songs going on. Some of these were international picks too. I maybe this is just me being a chauvinistic American, but I don't really listen to a lot of like Canadian or European music. So
you did with Glass Tiger.
Yeah. And there's another one that I don't know if they were a European band, but it was advertised as number one hit single from the UK. So now I know for a fact that people were really happy that we were playing country, so we might be getting some more country.
Well, and I'm not a country guy. I grew up listening to it. It's not a country guy, but there was some great country music back in the day. I mean, like I said, I listed off, we had the vinyl albums, and that's what we would listen to at our house. I don't know, this is probably before your time, but we had this great big huge console when we lived in Decatur, Illinois. I think we kept it when we moved to Camp Point, but I don't remember. If my mom's listening, she can text me and let me know. But we had this great big console in Decatur. This thing was heavy, and the whole thing was like speakers on the front, and you picked up the big wood, tilted up the big wood cover on it, and you had the turntable on one side, you had the 8-track on in the middle, and then you had a radio with the big dials on the right.
Wow.
And so that was the music console. That was the entertainment center to it. And then, of course, we had the vinyl albums back then. And then we had a few 8-tracks, but mostly we were listening to vinyl records. And like I said, it was in my household, it was a lot of the country music that was played there. Instrumental stuff. You probably never heard of Boots Randolph. He was a kind of a country saxophone player.
That's something I was not expecting to hear.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, Boots Randolph. You can look that up. And then, one of the variety shows that was popular then was some country music singers who were sisters named the Mandrell sisters, Barbara Mandrell and some of the others. And then Glenn Campbell was one of my favorites, Charlie Pride, Oak Ridge Boys, Statler Brothers. Let's see here, who else? Anne Murray. I think my mom really enjoyed Anne Murray's songs. She's another Canadian who made it. Crystal Gale was another one. Let's see here. So there were a lot of Kenny Rogers. We had Kenny Rogers' greatest hits, and I don't know how many times that got played in the house.
I hope somebody out there is taking notes on all these names.
Yeah, no, but don't request it for me. But no, and then of course, I'm sneaking, trying to listen to rock and roll and, and the 80s pop, because that's when MTV came around. Was in the early, about 40 years ago, I think it was. I think it was about 84, 85, something like that. So it had been about 40 years ago that MTV launched. And so I would have to sneak into the, one of the rooms of my folks around to try to watch MTV, hoping not to get caught, because I'd get in trouble if I watched MTV, because, it was all brand new, man. It was a whole different thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really, I don't know. So YouTube came out. I guess that would be my equivalent of MTV.
Probably. Yep. 101 Straight Up knows what I'm talking about. Yakety Sax from Boots Randolph. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, saxophone and country. I'm going to listen to that later. But so, having music videos at the touch of our fingertips is, great. But the concept of an entire TV station being devoted to playing music videos, I just don't think culturally we would see something like that again in the modern times.
Yeah. And they stopped playing music videos. So now what you do see, for instance, I've got, with my smart TV, one of the options you've got are basically Vivo, where you can just click on a streaming and it's just pick country, pick rock, pick rap, pick, whatever you want. And there's an 80s rock one, and they just play the old videos over, one after the other. And they just pull the old videos. So it's kind of like they just put together a YouTube playlist, and you can do anything you want on that.
And now MTV does nothing but brain rotting reality.
Yeah, it's
more on
show.
TV basically now. It's no longer music. It's more.
Yeah,
TV,
and what's funny is you've got the original, and now basically what they call the VJs, the video jockeys. They're all on either Sirius. They're all in basically Sirius XM, and one of them moved to the St. Louis area.
Oh,
Alan Hunter, who was one of the original ones. He lives, I think, in Webster Grove, but he does his show from the St. Louis area. Around here. So, they're still around, and that music's still around, but you got to go find it and pay an extra fee to get it. So, as opposed to just listening to us for free.
Yeah.
With Flashback Fridays, that was a, Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go. That was a huge hit. Have you ever seen the video to that?
No,
it's remarkable. It's let's just say it's something you're going to look at that and you're like, wow. And the funny part is years later, George Michael came out of the closet and he went on CNN because Frank, he'd been busted in an illicit thing. He went to the park and, and he's like, he was like being brave and saying, well, I am in a relationship with a man. I'm a gay man. And the whole world was like, yeah, we saw the video for Wake Me Up Before You Go, George. We know. we knew. We might have known before you knew, but we knew. We were aware. We knew, George. You didn't surprise us. You didn't do anything earth-shattering there. Just saying.
You weren't exactly being subtle.
No, you were not.
Okay, so that is something though. Through going through songs to for Flashback Friday, a lot of the music videos, you had some really cool creative stuff like the AHA video, but then you also had some very questionable sort of decision making that was going on during that time. And it's, I'm not saying that you can't artistically express yourself, but it's like was it Dancing in the Streets with Mick Jagger and David Bowie? I'm like, guys,
a little cringeworthy.
What are you doing? You're getting a little too close there.
Very, very close. Yes. Yeah. That was it was funny because there was the questionable, as in like questionable. Do you really think that's a good idea? We're questioning you. And then there's the, what on earth does this have to do with the song? Like, okay, so you've got a song and you're singing very pretty, and then you have a horse walking through a hallway in a building. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything? But that was the first time that you had to bring in a visual element. Not that there weren't music videos music videos go back to the 60s. I mean, the Beatles made music videos, but they were played in a different setting. I mean, it'd be like in theaters and, and all that sort of thing. But, as far as like a commercial product as the video itself, forerunner to YouTube, because now you make a video, you just put it on YouTube and hope you get enough views to make money off of it.
Yeah. The other interesting thing, so not exactly, I guess, 80s theme, but there was a post I saw and it was a picture of, it was Twisted Sister, Poison, Motley Crue, and then Iron Maiden. It said, you would be, if you're a millennial, you'd be surprised to find out only one of these guys is gay.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Rob Halford. Yeah.
And that's the other
Judas Priest, actually, probably.
That's what
Iron Maiden is Bruce Dickinson. He's
he's cool too. But that concept of going from that, you have to wear a suit when you go to play your instruments for the local nightly show, whatever. To we're going to get as loud and extreme with our clothing as possible, like that
the androgynous look.
So nowadays, I mean, a lot of the people just kind of dress skimpy. It's really
it's not a lot of thought to it.
It's not as creative, but that sort of generational shift, I think, it's a really fascinating from a history and music standpoint to see that sort of transition. Because even the 70s, I mean, the 70s were not all that out there, kind of attire from what I can tell.
I mean, the very end of it, you looked at some of the, New York Dolls and to a little bit of Slade and some of those, they were kind of setting the stage for that sort of thing, but the 80s with MTV, it was, what are we going to do to shock people? And the whole, that whole look that was new and it was shocking at the time. Now it's, Tuesday, in the Central West End.
What was your, first reaction when you saw the hair metal bands dressed like that on MTV?
It was weird. I didn't understand it. I think it was Poison that I saw was the first one. And I thought, like, that is bizarre. But when I heard the music separately, I was all about it, man. That was great.